you, Stream Elements. Very cool. I'm gonna turn this off too. We haven't had stream crashes in a while, so I'm gonna get rid of that timer as well. Excuse me. Oh, another one. They come in waves of 2. The hiccups come marching 2 by 2, hurrah, hurrah. The hiccups come marching 2 by 2, hurrah, hurrah. Something, something, yeah, something, 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 yeah. And they all something, something, hurrah. The ants go marching 2 by 2, hurrah, hurrah. Now that I'm here, let me move over here. Hello. Oh wait, did it? No, it did not. My camera's being all wonky today. I don't know. I've been trying to like get it fixed, but the problem is, if I like look at it, if I try to like I'm like look, I gotta like look in a really weird spot in order to like stare into your soul. I'm trying to get it to like not do that. So yeah, I'm trying to get it to like not do that. The only problem is the only way I've been able to like get things synced up is if I look like the complete opposite direction. Okay. Yeah, I think that works. I think that works. But no. It's time for SeaBed Saturday. I was actually playing Genshin before this. And let me move. Oh, it's a pencil. I was playing Genshin before this. I was like, I should check my resin and stuff like that, and also use like see if there's anything that I want to farm today, or if I need to like use my resin or whatever. And I ended up using my resin that I banked yesterday to go get some Dendro artifacts. I didn't get anything good. I'm slowly building up a small repertoire of various test pieces that I'm holding on to, until I can go through and I can start weeding them out. Start leveling them all up by one, and then weed them out. I've held off on it so far because I want to get a good... They're all like +8 or +12, and I want to build up a good repertoire of +0s that I could maybe invest in, so I can get the +8s and +12s to like +16 or +20, and then if they roll poorly, I can just YOLO roll them into the +0s and see what I get out of those. I collected all of the lotuses that I need for Nahida. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I have all those now. I have like 4 more than that. 3 or 4 more than I need, but I was like, cool, got those done. And now the fungus grind continues. And it's not been fun. But straight up, like, I fought a bunch of mushrooms, but bunch of fungus. I got maybe 4 3-star drops out of all the fungus that I fought. I fought 1 fungus that got hit by an electro crystal and it was like activated, and it dropped a 3-star and a 2-star. Meanwhile, the unactivated one right next to it dropped nothing, and I was like, bruh, what is this? Anyway, I took the... You might notice that the voice mod thing is off, that the little panel, and you probably don't. But if you did notice that it is not there, the panel is not there on the stream, it's because I've temporarily deactivated it. I'm not really using voice mod right now. And also the other reason too is right now, once again, all my fans are still... Not all my fans, like half my fans are still broken. And it's not something I need to run, and it just adds like unnecessary weight to my CPU. So I've decided that it's going to temporarily be deactivated. Ooh, I wonder what does this sound like? Does this sound cool? Can you hear this at all? Or does it just sound like my voice is being muffled? I don't know. I thought maybe it sounded cool because I can vaguely feel the echo and the vibration when I talk. But, we'll see. I'm gonna have to wait. I'm just gonna keep talking like this because I have to wait for the stream to catch up on my end so I can hear it. No, you just... Yeah, no. All that happens is you can hear the little... Oh, you can't even hear that. You can just hear the little, like, wind things, a little gust of air when I talk through it sometime. Okay, but no. On the last episode of SeaBed, we found out some stuff about Takako. She talked more about the, more about Sachiko's diary, and she talked with Mayumi for a little bit. Mayumi? Mayako? I don't know. Ooh, that is not the button. Okay, no, that is the button I meant to press. I opened up the tip page on SeaBed. I have it launched right now. I'm gonna go through the gallery. But no, last time on SeaBed Saturday number 10, Nanai confessed to Sachiko and got all up on her grill and be like, hey, you, I don't like your girlfriend, no way, I think you need a new one, hey, you, I could be your girlfriend. And then we saw a picture, a flashback of Sachiko and Takako kissing in what I think is San Fran. I'm pretty sure it's San Francisco. And then Takako saw a butterfly, and then she had another dream of them when they were living together going off to work, and that was kind of it. The main part was Nanai being like, I can replace your girlfriend. You still haven't let go of your dead girlfriend, but I can replace her for you. And we also unlocked some tips, which I was told it's probably a good idea for me to do these all at the same time. So we did Furnace and Night Duty Room the last time. And then we unlocked Tips 3. Night Duty and Furnace were part of Tips 1, so I was kind of surprised by that, considering we've already moved on to Tips 2. And we unlocked Tips 3 Memories, which was Flower Petal, Apricot, and Water Game, and we'll start off with those, because I've been told that they're kind of relevant to the game, so you should just do them as they come along, instead of trying to do them all at the end, like, chronologically. So, without further ado, also, I was watching the cat VOD, it seemed pretty good. I noticed that I've noticed that the Twitch broadcast, for whatever reason, my audio sounds a little bit better on the Twitch broadcasts versus my recordings, which I am a little unsure about why that should be. All of the settings are the same. But the Twitch broadcasts, so the Twitch VODs, have a slightly higher, it's not too noticeable, it's like a little bit better. It's really just some of my words. And I've noticed that sometimes my words get cut off in the VODs that I'm recording locally, and I don't know why that happens. But sometimes, like, one of my words, like, part of what I'm saying just chops out, like, cuts out, and I don't know why that is either. But who knows? Anyway, let's go here. SeaBed, and I will put these on, and put this on, and get this on. Grab this. And then we're all ready for SeaBed. Yeah. We're all ready for some SeaBedding. So, like I said, we're going to be going here to tips. And last time, like I said, we did Furnace and Night Duty Room. This time we are going to be doing Flower Petal, Apricot, and then Water Game. We have 3 right at the start, so that'll be nice. I've been finding these tips a little bit more interesting, because I feel like I'm learning when I play these. I feel like I learn less when I'm playing the actual game. This looks like a public bathroom because of the little red and blue on the nozzle. Nozzle? Spigot? What do they call that? Faucet. I washed my face in the sink. Its cold touch bit into my skin, helping me wake up. A single flower petal circled in the whirlpool created by the drain. I scooped it out. I looked at the mirror to realize there's an empty vase in front of it. I placed the flower petal by it and wiped my face with the nearby towel. I brushed my hair, changed into a fresh set of clothes, and left the room. SeaBed. I'm still not sure what this purple... Oh! Really? That's it? I'm still not quite entirely sure what this, purple thing is supposed to be, like who that's supposed to be, because Narasaki's orange, Takako is green, Sachiko is blue, and then when it's multiple of them, it's kind of like a blend of the colors, so I'm still not sure what that, purple is supposed to be. Kinda confusing if you ask me. Am I too small? I think I'm a good size. I don't think I'm blocking too much. That's the main thing. Well, let's do apricot. Oh, let's do apricot then. I could maybe stand to be a little bit bigger and like maybe like slightly off to the side. Yeah. Kinda in the corner. The waiter in a monochrome uniform came over to my table. I broke my gaze from the red flower in the vase. He showed me the bottle I'd ordered. His attire reminded me of those models of foreigners they had in Western apparel stores. When I nodded, he placed 2 glasses on the table, filling them with drink. Excuse me. Excuse me. You know, I should probably just set up like a double hit command that just lets me do that twice. Both glasses seemed to contain the exact same amount of liquid, almost as if he had some volume calculator in his hands. Saying nothing else, the waiter left. It's called job training. It's called years of experience. Oh, this is probably Takako then. Is that an apricot on the bottom? Sachiko asked. He was sitting in front of me. Oh yeah, this one's called Memory, so it makes sense that this is Takako. There was a large apricot on the bottom of the bottle. I nodded. Or maybe it's Narasaki? This one is distilled from fermented fruit. This is a very not Takako answer. It's pretty strong, said Sachiko as she read the label. I hear it's supposed to be sweet, so it should be easy to drink despite the strength. Yeah, this is a very, like, not Takako answer. You've never had it before? A friend from Serbia recommended it to me when I mentioned Umashu to him. I also doubt that Takako has been to Serbia, but what do I know? He said they had sweet alcohol there as well. Apparently it's popular in the Balkans. According to him, almost everybody had a homemade stash of it in their house. I got interested, but never had the chance to try it. Until now. I didn't know you were knowledgeable about alcohol. I'm not. I just drink what people recommend to me from time to time. Admittedly, though, there are few things better in life than a delicious meal and a good drink to go with it. I took a sip of the drink before Sachiko. Just like I'd heard, it passed through my throat like water, leaving only a fruity sweetness and a strong, alcoholic warmth. It was just the kind of taste I liked. It just might be a bit hotter in the throat than I thought, I warned Sachiko as she was about to tilt her glass. Sachiko took a small sip, only about 1/5 of the glass. It is pretty easy to drink. She placed the glass back on the table. I felt some warmth rush to my head as I finished my glass, prompting me to order something for dessert. I wouldn't usually get drunk this fast. I didn't know whether it was because I hadn't drunk in a while, or if I was simply exhausted from work, but I figured this was a good place to stop. I can't see our office from here, but what about your clinic? Oh, this is Narasaki. Sachiko's gaze was fixed on the panorama of the city beyond the window. Countless streetlights flickered in the distance, making the contours of the city a little difficult to make out from the bar on the 31st floor. I'm not sure. I could probably tell if it was bright outside. I looked back at Sachiko. Her eyes were still fixed on the nighttime cityscape. Her long, black hair fell in her ears when she tilted her head, hiding them from sight. Would you like another round? I asked when I noticed that her glass was empty. Just one more then, she replied. Sachiko picked up the glass I filled for her and took a small sip. I don't usually drink much, but I like this. And the food is pretty good too. Happy to write down the name of this place. I nodded. They've got exotic drinks, offer good snacks to go along with them, and the view is fantastic. What more could a girl want? It's just the kind of place I've been looking for lately. I can't imagine you going to a bar alone, though. Yeah, I guess you have a point there, said Sachiko. When it comes to this place, I usually reserve a bottle or two in advance, so feel free to join me if you ever feel like it. That sounds almost a little too nice. Or is this a part of the treatment too? Perhaps. I made a thoughtful gesture. Sachiko slightly tilted her head to the side. Why did you choose this line of work, Narasaki? I wanted to be a doctor ever since I was a kid. I forgot why though. Wasn't it difficult to get there though? I imagine you had to study a lot. I don't think I feel as strongly about personal preferences as the average person. I never considered studying to be particularly boring, nor did I ever feel like doing anything else. Maybe my own insensitivity is what made me want to learn more about how the minds of others worked. Ooh, SeaBed. Hello, Tofu. Before I turn into SeaBed. You haven't missed much. You haven't missed a lot at all. You missed the first memory we did, which was just, oh, I washed my hands in a sink, and I noticed that there was a vase in front of the mirror, and that was it. That was just the end of it. It was... Ugh. We are back, gonna play Genshin for a little bit. Nice. Nice. Yeah. Hopefully by the time this is done, you'd be back. Right now, it's not anything terribly important. So, also this is a mainly auditory game, so there's that too. So I haven't missed. No, you have not missed a lot. You missed somebody washing their hands, and you missed Sachiko and Narasaki drinking at a fancy restaurant. And that's about it. I think I've had enough for the night, I said, then changed the subject by asking if she was enjoying her current job. After that, we spent some time discussing work. These have all been very short. The first one and Tips 1 were super long. Oh, this is cool. Once we'd paid our bill, we stepped out into the cold night. I noticed Sachiko staggering while I was adjusting the position of my scarf. I clasped her arm out of reflex. Was that a bit too much for you? No, I'm fine. I didn't realize how hot I was until I got outside. But I'm okay now. It was close to midnight, but the neon signs all around us made the night hardly any darker than the middle of the day. You're welcome. As we were passing by the park near the station, we spotted the fully decorated Christmas tree. Oh Tannenbaum, something something something, yeah. They're getting a bit ahead of themselves, aren't they? Get ahead of myself. That's another song. I remember seeing Halloween decorations here just a few weeks ago. It's nice to have something to look forward to. Something to look forward to, huh? After that, we passed through the station gates and ascended to the train platform. There weren't that many people there at this hour. Sachiko's scarf hid half of her face, but I could still see her exhaling white breaths. Oh, we're not gonna get a CG of that. Do you remember all your Christmas presents from previous years? Not really. I remember getting lots of clothes when I was little, though. Oh, really? What kind? I recall a frilly skirt, and some dress with tons of ribbons. I wanted more clothes that were easy to move in, like the ones Takako used to wear, so I remember not being very happy with my presents. No, Sachiko! You have to make sure that you fit the standards of your Yuri trope. You have to be the calm and collected girl that has all the nice, girly, prissy clothes. And Takako's the energetic tomboy. That's how this works. Haven't you ever watched, like, literally any sort of shoujo ai, Yuri, anything? That's always how this works. Your parents probably wanted you to grow up into the kind of lady those clothes would fit. Sachiko's clouded expression suddenly cleared up. One time, I remember getting this weird toy from Takako. It was a small, transparent box with water where you had to get rings in a big coral by pushing a button that created a stream inside and swept everything around. Oh, they've been talking about this a lot in the main game. Oh, I know that one. I've seen something like that at my hairdresser's. Sachiko nodded. Now that you mention it, I do recall spotting them at a number of barbershops. It's a great time killer. Kinda like puzzle rings and journals. I tried recalling more details about that toy as a train passed us by in the opposite lane, but couldn't remember much besides the fact that it was there. They were everywhere. I wonder if the Union recommended them or something. I think it was just a fad. Lots of oddities were popular back then. A fad. Was there anything else like it? Well, there was the spring that could climb down the stairs, then a fishing game where the fish would keep opening and closing their mouths, and all sorts of driving games that came with actual wheels and gears. I also remember a flower that would react to sounds. How dare you diss the Slinky like that? The Slinky's not a fad. The Slinky's iconic. Those are all toys. I like them. Some people call me childish because of that, but I don't care. I know all the ones you listed, by the way. Be careful with that. People will find out how old you are. I don't mind. And it makes me happy to remember those things. Yeah, haven't we already established this game takes place in, like, the 90s? Or at least, like, the early 2000s? Because, like, all the flashbacks say, like, 1975, 1972, 1976. I see. I've always made fun of fads, but it's nice to share a memory with someone. You don't see that many crazy fads these days. Now that you mention it, why do you think that is? Actually, hold on, no. It always says like, was it 75 or is it 85? It's probably not 75. It's probably 85. It probably says 1985. I mean, I don't know. They could have been elementary school students in 75 or like kindergartners in 75, and this game could take place in like 93. But I don't know. 'Cause they're all pretty young. There's a huge variety of toys nowadays, so people usually just get the ones they like and ignore the others. I glanced up at the electric board one more time to check the scheduled time of arrival for our train. Maybe it was 75. No one's ever talked about smartphones or anything like that. Or really like laptops or anything. They've all been talking about desktops. So maybe it is in the 90s. Sachiko regarded the lane with drowsy eyes. But considering your line of work, wouldn't you know more about fads than me? I suppose so. And what you said is basically how I felt as well. Most of our work consists of making ads for products, and most of them are oh, I switched those around. And most of them are geared toward a specific group of people. Unusual designs that stand out tend to be more popular at first compared to traditional ones, but they go out of style sooner. It's become harder and harder to make something that would appeal to everyone. I see. I saw the lights on the train appear at the end of the lane. Have you ever considered how an increase in all these material things that serve as distractions led to a deterioration of our imagination? I might have. I see you're past your prime. What? Why? That didn't sound like you at all. Really? The old you probably would have said something along the lines of, so what? Maybe I'm just drunk. Maybe you are. Is that it? Oh, the train stopped in front of us and opened its doors. Sachiko had her eyes closed, staying silent for most of the trip. I decided to escort her to the entrance of her apartment as we reached the station nearest to her home. Naturally, Sachiko refused at first, but I wouldn't relent. After seeing her off, I considered walking to the clinic instead of taking the train again. I passed a few creepy alleyways along the way and arrived at the clinic in just under 30 minutes. I unlocked the outside doors and entered the dark corridor. I continued down to the night duty room with confident steps. It was pitch dark inside the room, but I knew every nook and cranny of the place, so it posed no problem. I unfastened my hair, washed my face, got changed, and lay down on my futon. Lying on my back, I adjusted the height of the pillow and closed my eyes. I thought about what I had discussed with Sachiko. Then I remembered a patient that used to frequent this place. The way Sachiko acted today reminded me of that same patient. Interesting. Fascinating. Very interesting. I guess there's our little tie-in for the water ring game. Let's load in number 3, Dinner and Rumors. Yes, this is the one where Takako is going around putting in new light bulbs, and she got Kozue to help her hold the ladder. Go ahead without me. I'll go call Sanae. Kozue, who had been descending the spiral staircase in front of me, turned around and nodded. Takako. I heard a voice as I was about to knock on Sanae's door on the second floor. Oh, it is Sanae. I turned in its direction, spotting Sanae at the end of the corridor. Were you looking for me? I came to invite you to dinner. Oh. You came closer to me. Can I come dressed like this? Yeah. Okay then. Sanae and I descended the stairs to the lobby. Kozue was there, playing with a planet model on the counter. I thought you'd already left. You never told me where to go. The dining room, like always. Okay. Sorry, I should have told you. It doesn't matter. Kozue regarded me with sleepy eyes. Follow me. No, I feel like I've made Takako a little bit less energetic. I turned back to the corridor and continued to the east wing. As I started humming, Sanae asked what kind of song it was. It's something I heard a long time ago. Looking at Kozue just now reminded me of it. It has a nice melody. The stars, the moon, and the earth all go round and round. As I opened the door at the end of the west corridor, I found Mayako placing plates from the service cart onto the table. Need help? I'm almost done anyway, so better just wait at your seat. In a room about twice the size of our bedrooms, there was a long table with 3 chairs on 2 of its longer sides. The many windows on the wall opposite the corridor gave all who entered a wide view of the inner yard and the big camphor tree in its center. I lowered myself into the chair near the windows. Mayako, after finishing lining up the plates, sat down next to me. Sanae and Kozue seated themselves in front of us. Let's dig in. With those words, we grabbed our chopsticks and began filling our plates. The dinner consisted of takekomi rice, chicken, and mushroom satay. SeaBed Saturday, I don't know, French word, I've seen it a lot. Something. And a salad with white sauce. Alfredo salad? Do we have any pepper, Mayako? We do. She lifted off a small wooden jar from the service cart. SeaBed time. It is SeaBed time. What do you want to put it on? The fish. But I've already seasoned that. It's okay. It becomes even better with more pepper. I tilted the pepper jar above my piece of sea bass manure. Hold on. If they're gonna keep saying this, I'm gonna look this up. Let me beat the game real quick.
Manier.
Meunier?
Manier.
Meunier?
Manier.
Meunier?
Manier.
Meunier?
Manier.
Meunier. Meunier?
Manier.
Meunier? Meunier? Okay. I don't know why that recording had that like audio, the mic thing at the time. That wasn't me. It was just every time the video just had like this thing, like somebody ripped a cord out of a mic or something when they were recording it. Meunier? Some pepper got into my nose. Mayako... I don't know why that was so funny to me. Mayako was looking at me with a difficult expression. Come on, pepper is a treasure of human civilization. Back in ancient times, it was worth its weight in gold. I'd use the entire bottle if I could. That cost 300 yen at the supermarket, though. I'm glad to have been born in the modern age. The fragrant smell of satay reminded me of how hungry I was. I gobbled down everything on my plate in a matter of seconds. You eat fast, said Kozue. I move around a lot, so I get hungry fast. You might get indigestion from wolfing down your food like that. It's okay, I always eat like this. I glanced at Mayako's plate and saw how she still had a good chunk of her meal left. Is there more? No, that's all we had for today. Darn. We don't go outside as much now that it's gotten cold, and it's easy to overeat during parties, so this is just the right amount to help us stay in shape. Are you saying I got fat? No. This is for everyone's health. I don't care about my weight. I'd rather eat more. You can have this if you want. Sanai pushed her rice bowl toward me. You sure? No. Takako's diet already contains too many carbohydrates. Growth hormone secretion decreases when you sleep if your blood sugar is too high, and you end up not feeling as rested as you should. Really? Yes. You shouldn't eat any more today. She handed me a white cup with coffee. I drew the cup to my lips and took a sip. The bitter taste extended across my tongue, eliminating the aftertaste from the other dishes. I noticed Kozue staring at me with absent eyes. What? Or rather, her eyes seemed to be gazing at something behind me. Is it a ghost? I turned around to see my own face reflected in the glass, and then vaguely made out the camphor tree swaying in the darkened inner yard. Did you see something there? No. Do you remember my Christmas tree? Sanai gulping down the Takikomi. They spelled it different this time. Last time it was Takikomi. This time it's Take. Last time it was Takikomi, now it's Takikomi. Takikomi raised her face as well. It was really beautiful. We should have taken a picture. We can do that next time. Let's have a group picture and hang it in the lobby. Now there's a good idea, said Mayako. I felt my throat dry and took another sip of coffee. Mayako elegantly picked up the last mushroom of her sauté with her chopsticks, then put it in her mouth. Are you familiar with glass stones, Mayako? You mean those things that you can find lying on the beach? Yeah. Zanai said she'd never seen one. Zanai nodded as both our gazes fell on her. I suggested we all go to the beach when it gets warmer. To swim? Well, that's nice too, but first I'd have to teach Zanai. I doubt she knows how to swim. Are you serious? Zanai asked in a heavy tone. It's okay. I'm an expert at swimming. Oh no, it's okay. I'm an expert at swimming. That's not what I meant. Zanai tilted her head down, making her hair hide her eyes from us. What do you think, Kozue? I don't like swimming in the sea. Why? The water feels sticky and makes me sick. How about we go fishing then? No thanks. After diligently cleaning her plate, Kozue placed her chopsticks on the table. Kozue, would you prefer tea or coffee? Tea. Mayako took out a teacup from the service cart, filled it up with tea, then handed it to her. I took it from her hands and placed it in front of Kozue. So, what else could we do if neither fishing nor swimming works for you guys? Why do you want to go to the beach anyway? I just do. Mayako, what else is there to do at the beach? Beach volleyball, sandcastles, suntanning, campfire, water fight. That's about it. That's all I can think of. Well, you can build sandcastles or play beach volleyball. Boom. I've never done it myself, though. Or you could recreate all of those, like, inspirational, like, Instagram pictures and, like, sit on the beach and have your toes, like, intertwined in the sand or something. I don't know. She made a faint smile. Oh, I suppose you could also hold a barbecue. That sounds good. I could catch all the fish on the spot. Are we talking about fishing again? I could catch them with my bare hands if that's what you'd prefer. I menacingly grabbed the air with my right hand, pretending to be some kind of woodland predator. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Kozue? Fireworks. Oh, that's good. We can do that when it grows dark. Let's buy a lot. Just know that rockets are too dangerous, so I'm not allowing those. Then what fireworks are okay? Don't tell me we'll just have to make do with sparklers. Anything that's sold in the store, except the ones that leave pillars of flames. Does that include parachute fireworks? Well, parachute fireworks are probably okay. What's that? Kozue cocked her head to the side. It's a type of firework that has a parachute inside. After it explodes, the parachute comes gliding down. Wow, Dawn, your goalet grew to level 43? That's pretty impressive. That's right. Running around trying to catch those things is a hallmark of- oh, running around trying to catch those is the hallmark experience of summer. The last time I did that, all my parachutes got swept above the sea and I couldn't retrieve them. I'm not gonna repeat the same mistake again. Just be careful not to fall into the sea, okay? I won't do that. I'm not a kid anymore. You act plenty childish from where I stand, Kozue remarked. Speaking of the sea, said Mayako almost at the same time. Umi no Yurei? I heard this when I was buying groceries, but apparently a steamship going around the world will be making a stop at our port sometime soon. A steamship? The grandpa from our usual cafe said it was a huge steamship. I didn't know people still use such ancient technology. They do in the West, apparently. Traveling around the world, huh? I wish I could do that too. We could go have a look when it's here. Maybe we'll even get to hold those colored tapes. I'm not boarding it, said Kozue, as Sanai silently placed her chopsticks on the table. Tana and Kozue returned to their rooms after dinner. Mayako, busy washing dishes in the kitchen, spotted me as I brought over the leftover plates and proceeded to thank me. Where should I put them? Just put them in the sink. Okay. I placed them down with a low clang. Mayako picked up one of the plates and began brushing a bubbling sponge against it. She finished the 4 sets of plates in a couple minutes and placed them on the drying rack. Though she seemed to only be lightly washing the plates, I'd yet to see a single spot on any of the ones I ate from. There was something relieving about how she worked. Maybe I just got used to the sight. Need help? I'm almost done. It's already late, so you should go to sleep. I see. I turned around before reaching the kitchen door and faced Mayako's back. What is it? Mayako asked without looking at me. I'll sleep in my own room tonight. Okay. Good night then. Good night. I lay down on my futon and closed my eyes, but realized I wasn't sleepy. There was something bothering me. I remembered how I saw Sachiko in Kozue's room. I wanted to meet her again, but I didn't know what to do to achieve that. I turned on the desk lamp and picked up the notebook. There were only a few pages left now. September 23rd, 1975. It was 75. I knew it. So this probably takes place in the 90s then? Because they're in, like, what? Middle school at this point? They were born in the 60s, maybe? The rays of sun filtered through the marmalade-colored western window of the kindergarten, elongating the shadows of the 3 of us inside. Wow! Dang, Sachiko. You're using words like marmalade-colored and elongating when you're 5? That's pretty impressive. That means that she was what? She was born in like 70 or 69? And I'd reckon they're in their mid-late 20s now. I assume they're somewhere between the ages of 23 and 29. So it's probably somewhere in the mid to late 90s right now. All the other children had already had their parents come to pick them up. Meanwhile, we were still playing doctor. Oh, this one again. Akako was the doctor, Narasaki was the patient, and I just held a book that was supposed to be a medical record and stared at them. Detective work, yes. Detective work. I'm assuming that none of them are, older than 30. But I'd have nothing to substantiate that. Akako was investigating the condition of Narasaki's belly. Does the stethoscope have a right and a wrong side? Takako turned to me. You're holding it correctly. I see, I see. She took the stethoscope off and put it on the table. There was a whole lineup of toy medical tools on it, all to be used as part of the game. Takako looked over them for a second, and after a brief moment of hesitation... What's this? She picked up a spatula used to hold down the tongue. Ah, the nurse is looking. I turned around and saw the nurse looking our way. She picked up a plush bunny we left on the floor earlier and put it back in its box. Bro, we already read this before. What is this? Was she looking at us? Wasn't this a memory that, like, Sachiko had? Are we reading the diary? Is this the diary version of the flashback we had? Yeah. You seem to be very Oh, yes. You seem to be a very untrustworthy doctor. I fear for your future patients if you ever actually become one. Ugh. I think Narasaki's better at it than you, Takako. Okay, we can switch if you want. I put down the book that was supposed to be the medical record, and took the stethoscope from Takako's hands. Then I lifted up Narasaki and placed her on my knee. Wait a second. Wait... Wait. Hold on. So, is this supposed to be... Is this CG? Is this a CG like an accurate representation? Is this a recycled CG that they just keep using? Or is this supposed to be an accurate representation of what's happening right now? Because I just noticed something. I thought it was weird that, like, Narasaki was never pictured in any of these. Supposedly, Narasaki has known Sachiko and Takako for a long time, and it always seems like maybe Sachiko and Narasaki had a longer history than Takako and Sachiko did. Like, Sachiko and Narasaki knew each other before Sachiko met Takako, which to me never made too much sense, because from what I gather from the very beginning of the game, Sachiko moved to a new neighborhood where Takako already lived, and they lived in the same apartment complex, and it was Sachiko's family, it was like Sachiko and her mom that moved in. And then throughout the entirety of like the beginning of the game, with all of the stuff like of them in middle school and high school, Narasaki's never present. She's only present in the present when we're talking with her now with Sachiko, or when we're doing flashbacks like these. And something that just triggered me here is they said that they were playing with Narasaki, and I never clued in on this before, but it says, "Then I lifted up Narasaki and placed her on my knees." And if you look at this, that's Sachiko's knees, and here's a doll that's wearing a lab coat and a skirt and has short red hair. And you know who else has a lab coat and a skirt and short red hair? Is Narasaki fake? Does she, like, not exist? But then, like, is Narasaki not real? Is she imaginary? But then what doesn't make sense there is Kozue has interacted with Narasaki. Supposedly, Narasaki has interacted with Kozue. And I was thinking, well, maybe Narasaki's like an imaginary friend, and her current form is just something that Sachiko has created. It's like somebody to talk to. Which might explain why she suddenly showed up in the middle of the night outside of the hotel when she saw Takako and ran outside in the middle of the night. And that might explain the doll here and how she's never been shown in any of the memories, and she hasn't ever been mentioned directly that much. But it still doesn't explain the clinic, all the stuff of her going to the clinic, or the fact that supposedly Narasaki has been interacting with Kozue in the present, and has also been interacting with Nanai's aunt, or the fact that she was playing chess with Sachiko. So I'm very confused. So, where does it hurt? I voiced a question in a mature tone. I ate a poisoned apple. Just like in the story we read today. In that case, please show me your stomach. Okay. Takako pulled up her shirt, exposing her naked belly. I used Narasaki's hand to guide the stethoscope to it. Yeah, I hadn't picked up on this before. Alright, turn around now. Takako did as ordered, pantomiming a spinning chair. There doesn't seem to be anything wrong with your lungs. Okay, let's have a look at your throat now. Takako spun her invisible chair again and opened her mouth. Open wide. Yeah, just like that. I pressed the spatula into Narasaki's hand and used it to push Takako's tongue out of the way. You're good at opening your mouth. I can see all the way to your tonsils. I have no idea what you're saying, though. Beginning to feel sleepy, I closed the book. I placed the notebook by the pillow and collapsed into the bed by my back, or on my back. That day, I had a dream of my past. A dream of a hot summer day. Hot girl summer? Hot girl summer? Excuse me. Chapter 6. Already? A train heading far away. I feel like we just started Chapter 5. I feel like we just started Chapter 5 and we're already in Chapter 6? Oh, and we're back to Sachiko. I could hear the cry of cicadas around me. The hot, humid air felt heavy on my skin. A row of large trees extended in front of me. The chapters do accelerate the further you get? Okay. Okay, so it's gonna start picking up. Okay, then I feel like I've grossly underestimated how many chapters this game is gonna be if they get shorter and shorter. There was a slide connected to a jungle gym. A swing, a tire half buried in the ground, and a sandbox. Probably. Yeah, I mean, I figured that we had 8, maybe 10 chapters left in this game. But at this rate, we still have like 3 pages of CGs that we haven't finished. So... I turned around and saw a row of tall trees behind me. They reminded me of cedars, but their leaves were flat and big. There was a green fence behind them. And beyond that fence, there was a wide, deep ditch. I couldn't see the bottom from here, but I could tell there was a river, roughly 5 meters deep, running through it. The park area was shaped like a shortcake, situated between the ditch and the road. I wonder if this is another dream. Whoa. Takako let out a shout as she dashed toward me. Little Takako? Oh! I caught her by the armpits and lifted her up, making her stop. This is funny. This is probably one of my favorite CGs we've had the entire game. This is funny. She raised one of her hands in an attempt to imitate Superman. Cute? It is. That's not what we're playing here. Disappointed, she dropped her arm. You know who I am? Oh wait, do you know who I am? My bride! That's the girl who passed me by earlier, no? A shocking realization came over Takako, making her blink a few times. That's right. Good grief. I looked around the park, still holding Takako. There were a bunch of faded toys scattered in the sandbox. I couldn't tell whether the sun, partially hidden by the mountain range, was rising or setting. The sky had a light pink hue, with only a few light clouds drifting on it. Let me down! I put her back on solid ground. Is there a bug you like, miss? I'll catch it for you. I don't need any insects. Then, what do you want to play? Tag? I'd rather not. Oh, I can show you something great! Oh, wait, hold on, wait. No, come back! Takako, come back! She hurried over to the swings, climbed onto the right one, and began swinging up and down. I followed her, but before I could reach her, she crouched down in preparation of a jump, then let go of the bars. She landed on the teal bar in front of the swing, but inertia carried her too far. She began tilting forward. Okay. I just noticed there's like a little duck she has. She's got a little, or a little chick. Maybe a chicken? A duck? A little bird. She's got a little baby bird. That's adorable. Ugh. How many times do you want to get hurt doing this? I caught her before she hit the ground. Thanks. I'll get you a dragonfly in your turn. I really don't want any bugs. It's here! A large insect flew by my head. Takako chased after it. I watched her disappear into the distance, then pinched my hand. It hurt a bit. Excuse me. That counts as a hiccup. When I looked back at Takako, I saw her standing in place, gazing at a certain spot. She slowly extended her arm. Her hand suddenly moved and seized something. Got it! She rushed back toward me, carrying her prey. The dragonfly that flew past my head earlier now sat motionless in Takako's palm. Her fingers were holding down its wings, preventing it from moving. I caught a dragonfly! Did you actually catch it with your bare hands? It's the first time I managed to pull that off. Impressed? You're gonna give it to your friend, correct? Yeah. You think she'll forgive me? Don't forget to bring her the doll, too. It's important to her. Okay. Is this a weird time thing? Is she making sure that the past that already happens comes to pass? Is she getting Groundhog Day or something like that? Is she getting Back to the Future? The small Takako pulled out an insect cage from the backpack under the slide and placed the dragonfly into it. She then shoved the cage back into her backpack. She put the doll in the backpack as well. I briefly glanced at my wristwatch. It was 6 o'clock. Are you going home? Takako asked as she returned. Yep. Let's play a bit more. I wish I could, but I have to hurry back. I feel like I was in the middle of something important. Aww. As Takako heaved a sigh of disappointment, I pinched my hand again. This time, I did it a bit harder. It felt no different from last time. I looked around at the park, and then up at the sky. Its color was an odd mix of purple and pink, the kind I'd never seen before. Do you know how I can leave? I asked the small Takako. Takako shook her head. I suppose you wouldn't. If you got nowhere to go, you can come to my house. Oh, this is also a really good one. Takako pulled the hem of my skirt as I wondered what to do. This one is really nice. The colors on this one are really nice. I think, like, out of all of them, I think this is my favorite in terms of the entire composition. All of these colors look so, like, they just work so well together. The balance is really nice. I took a step toward her to avoid it getting stretched, but Takako, interpreting that as a sign of consent, began walking further. We left the park and passed the street with a tenement house at the corner, emerging on a slope stretching deep into the mountain. I spotted a thick cable car wire above it. Turning around, I noticed that the houses behind me had disappeared. Before I knew it, I was walking on a stone pavement. Is this really the right way? Yeah, don't worry. I watched a cable car descend the slope. Its rear half was a box with seats and windows. It reminded me of a red tin can with wooden windows. It had various posters inside, each depicting different advertisements ranging from movies to shoe shops. The empty cable car stopped on the rotating plate and turned around. Takako grabbed one of its rails and was about to get in. Are we riding this? Yeah. Takako got inside and climbed onto a long bench by the window. I sat next to Takako and glanced in the same direction as her. Oops, not what I wanted. This is also a nice one. Colorful brick and concrete houses surrounded the slope we were ascending. Their roofs lined up like stairs, serving as balconies for every higher building. Is something the matter? Look! Takako looked at me, then pointed at the big window at the back of the car. I could see a harbor beyond it. The slope we were ascending cleaved the western city in two, almost like Moses did the Red Sea in ancient times. Further beyond, a wide, cobalt-green sea stretched as far as the eye could see. A few vanilla-colored clouds drifted along in the blue sky above. I went there with Sachiko the other day. We boarded a ship. Takako pointed at the lone island in the distance. I've never been there. Really? It was fun. Takako lowered herself down onto the bench. Is this the beginning? Is she talking about the cabana house? You're good friends. Yeah. One time, I wanted to show her my new trick with stilts, but I fell and scraped my leg so much it started bleeding. She ended up taking me to the hospital. Ah, those were pretty tall, weren't they? I should have known it was a bad idea when you needed to climb onto the roof just to get on them. The cable car passed under a large tree, the leaves of which cast gently flickering shadows. Takako took out the insect box from her bag and observed the dragonfly. After getting bored of that, she took out the doll and began moving its hands. Let's play Shiritori. Squirrel. Lettuce. Egg. Giraffe. Eagle. Earthworm. Mango. Opal. Lettuce. Egg. Giraffe. Eagle. Earthworm. Mango. Opal. Lettuce. Egg. Hey, you can't repeat them. You lose. Takako leaned against me as I gazed at the scenery beyond the window. Her eyes were closed while she rocked back and forth with each bump. Are you sleeping? No. Is your house really that far? Don't worry. We passed under a large tree, the leaves of which cast gently flickering shadows. I went to a picnic with Sachiko. Just you two? Narasaki was there too. Sachiko made a lunchbox for each of us. Her egg omelet tasted really sweet. With that, Takako fell asleep on my shoulder. I looked out the car's front window and saw the vast, cobalt blue sea in the distance. Everything keeps changing. Turning around, I saw the exact same view behind us, western buildings and trees along the sea. The only difference between the two were the colors. Looking at Takako sleeping on my shoulder, I too closed my eyes in the gently swaying car. Feeling someone shake my shoulders, I opened my eyes. We're here! Still half asleep, I followed Takako out of the car. There was a sound of a bell, and the cable car began turning around. Here! Takako pulled me by the hand. The sensation of the ground changed, and as I shook off my drowsiness, I realized we were on a mountain path surrounded by tall trees. With the leaves above us blocking out most of the light, I couldn't quite make out how far the trail extended. We're almost there. Oh. After a short while, we reached a tunnel made of brick and stone. The same one by the hotel, or is this a different tunnel? It's hard to tell when they're reusing assets and when it's actually like the same places. We continued inside, the faint light behind us waning like a candle flame. The darker it got, the colder it felt inside, until it disappeared altogether. I'm lost. But all we did was walk in a straight line. You wanna go back? Takako stopped, her hand still clutching mine. I picked a bunch of different paths, but I no longer remember which ones. I didn't notice at all. What do we do now? You have no idea where we are at all? It's dark here. Well, it certainly is. Oh no, not Project Cat. Oh? Takako, Sachiko, title card? Oh? I walked across the shallow beach. The stars flickered in the water puddles as I stepped on them. However, the scenery would not change, no matter how far I walked. It was either a starry sky, or a starry sky with some holes, repeating over and over. Well now. I stuck my right index finger into my mouth and bit down on it. It hurt. This is also a really cool picture. Glancing at one of the puddles, I saw the reflection of a woman with long black hair and black eyes staring at me. I closed one of my eyes, and so did she. All the pictures with Narasaki in it are cool? They are. I shifted my gaze back toward the horizon. That's an interesting one though, but she looks in a reflection and she sees who I presume to be Sachiko. And when Narasaki closes an eye, Sachiko closes an eye. That's an interesting detail. I stuck my hand in my pocket and fished out my car keys. They felt cold to the touch. I turned them a few times in my hand and continued toward the horizon. Suddenly, I felt like I heard something. I took a few more steps and the noise, kind of static, reminiscent of hearing tests, increased. I stopped and strained my ears to listen. The sound was coming from below. However, there was only a puddle of water at my feet, its surface reflecting a massive black cloud. Just when I looked up, the puddle suddenly swallowed me. Heavy rain poured all over me. I was still on the same shallow beach, except now it was in the middle of a storm. As I glanced at the black cloud, the rainfall grew in intensity. Following the apparent source of the sound, as where it felt the loudest, I soon reached a tropical forest of sorts. This is the same stuff. This is what happened at the very beginning of the game. I rushed there to escape the rain. Water trickled down my hair, getting into my eyes. Suddenly I heard something from the woods. Is someone there? I spotted traces of footsteps in the direction the sound was coming from. I followed them, noticing some broken branches along the way as well. I stepped over a big set of roots rising from the ground, and climbed the limestone rock blackened by the elements, to find a hole splitting the path in two. It was the entrance to a cave, surrounded by ferns. Look how huge it is. I heard something reminiscent of human voices from within. This is Takako and Sachiko. This is the beginning of the game. Is someone there? I repeated my question. My words reverberated across the cave walls. I waited for a dozen or so seconds, but received no reply. I climbed down the hole. Having reached an area with a solid roof, the sound of the rain from outside began to abate. Instead, I heard the scarce dripping of water. There were countless paths branching off in various directions in front of me. Some were too narrow for a person to pass, while others seemed good enough to drive a car through. All of them had complex shapes, like lava stones. I pressed forward, trying to find some even footing, when I heard disjointed voices from some of the tunnels. Wanted to show me? Fireflies! You mean... was told he wanted to see... I followed the voices until I saw a light beyond a large black rock. Ah. I heard a voice right by my ear. Whoa. That was an interesting transition. As I stepped on a puddle of water, my leg got swallowed by it. The sensation was similar to missing a step on the stairs. I ended up losing my balance and was plummeted down into a dark void. Oh. I opened my eyes, only to realize I was slowly sinking. As I regained control of my body, I extended my arms and landed at the bottom. Whoa. The water was crystal clear. If one discounted the sensation of weightlessness, this was hardly different from the inside of the cave. I exhaled a breath. It didn't feel uncomfortable at all. The air bubbles ascended, getting sucked toward the light coming from the hole I fell through. This is... I heard a voice from beyond the water. It was a dark cave entrance right in the middle of the seabed. 11 streams in. We've got a name drop. I turned around and began walking toward it. They probably said it right at the beginning, I just don't remember. It felt like walking on clouds. Although I drew further away from the light coming from the hole, it painted the entire place pale blue, almost like it had simply melted into the water. I was moving onwards with one hand on the wall when I heard some voices again. Wow, there's a window here. I can see the vegetables in the inner yard from here. There was a huge window covered by the stairs, too. I wonder if they built them later. They must have been in quite a hurry when they did that. Few people nowadays think of modern architecture as superior. Oh, look at how small that door is! I wonder if it's a broom closet. Oh, it's locked. You can ask the landlord about it later. Oh, this must be the house. This must be their apartment. I'll do that. This must be when they first moved into the apartment together. I wonder if it's this room. The plate matches the key at least. Let me see if it fits the lock. Bigger than I thought. Concrete walls, huh? We could raise hell in here and no one would hear us. Don't be sussy, Sachiko. I'm not planning to do anything like that. I'll open the windows. Alright. So, we're taking this one? Yeah. Okay, we have to get our stuff then. Tomorrow is going to be a busy day. Indeed. I continued down the rocky path, sweeping my hands through the water. Are you there? My voice turns into bubbles, disappearing into the darkness above me. I realized the cave ceiling had grown low enough for me to reach it. The path turned more uneven, so I slowed my pace and continued in careful steps. My voice is trapped in bubbles you can't see or hear. I'm losing breath, I can't move yet I close my eyes. I spotted the silhouette of a crouching person in front of a large rock in the distance. I do wonder about that sometime. I do wonder if there's any connection between Seafoam and SeaBed. Because, man oh man, I saw the cover, I saw the album cover for SeaBed, and the first, or not SeaBed, for Seafoam, and the first thing I thought was, bruh, that's SeaBed. That's SeaBed. But then again, I think it's just the art, because the video on YouTube looks nothing like that. The YouTube video has a completely different thing. But the official, like the topic music, the topic thing, makes me think of SeaBed a lot. Even though I'm sure that there's no relation in any way, shape, or form. But he just really reminds me of Sachiko. I spotted the silhouette of a crouching person in front of a large rock in the distance. As I drew closer, I realized it was just an old doll. Is she gonna pick up the doll? Is it gonna be her? Is she the doll? The path would grow narrow, then widen up again. However, the rock walls surrounding me on both sides remained the same. I completely lost sense of how far I'd walked. I could no longer hear anything besides the echo of the dripping water and my own footsteps. On the other side of the rock, there was a huge puddle of water. I also spotted a large hole in the rocks beyond it. Though I caught a glimpse of some green trees and a darkened sky beyond the hole, most of the view was blocked by the water pouring down through it like a waterfall. The ceiling rocks around it glimmered in a pale bluish hue. As a dark cloud passed by the hole, the ceiling lit up like a sky illuminated by stars. I realized that my body felt very heavy. The sensation of walking underwater faded, and I was once again back on solid ground. I stopped a while to observe the stars, which formed no constellations whatsoever, as well as the puddle and the waterfall. The path ended here. I looked down into the water. It looked like a stairway continuing downward without end. I want to see it. I could have sworn I heard Kozue's voice. Too tired to go back now. I stepped into the water and was transported into a shining blue world. After the voices had ceased, I continued down the lone path for a while. Soon enough, I started hearing something in the distance again. It reminded me of a rock falling on something hard, or perhaps a chess piece being swiftly placed on a board. Remember the girl that was with us when we talked to Lily? Yes. Don't you think she's just like you when you were little? Really? In what way? Her unsociable attitude and quick wits. Actually, that part of you hasn't changed at all. When did you become like that? Or when did you become like that? I think I was born this way. Takako had sociability for the both of us. And you were the brains for you both. They're like that bird. The bird that has that both has one wing, and they fly together. Oh no, she doesn't have her second half? That sounds about right. Suddenly, one of my legs sank into the ground. I saw a puddle, black as ink, as I glanced down. Beyond the slope behind me, I saw a sparkling water surface. Above it fluttered the starlit sky. The black puddle by my feet grew bigger, separating from water like oil. The heavy water, like a black mirror, gave me a clear reflection of my body. I tried stepping forward, creating a ripple in the blackness, and felt my shoe press against the hard, rocky bottom underneath it. I put my other leg into the blackness. I felt like I had stepped into the deep sea. There was solid ground at my feet, yet I continued sinking. The blackness enveloped me, robbing me of sight. We have to go deeper. We need to go deeper. Come on, Narasaki, get in that submarine. However, the ground evened out, making it easier to walk forward. I strained my ears and heard another sound. It reminded me of the clanging of dishes. Oh. Now this is a real throwback. I don't even remember what your name is. I'm sorry, honey. I don't remember. Who are you? Omega? Who Omega lol? It smells great, but I like it when it's more sweet. Why would you want to ruin the taste of something this delicious? The flavor might have been a bit too early for you, Takako. I heard Sachiko, Takako, and the voice of another woman I didn't know. I don't remember your name. I remember Fumi? Oh, Fumi. Yes, I remember Inukai. I remember Inukai because he's the only dude in this. He's the only dude in this entire game. I had completely forgot that Fumi existed. Instant tea is already more than good enough for her. Is that still apple tea? Yeah, Sachiko brings it home sometimes. It's a bit too sweet, but it's not bad for the price. Now what voice did I do with Fumi? I think I just gave her like a really deadpan voice. And this is the instant green tea, right? Yup. It only has Ceylon written on the label. Ceylon? You mean Sri Lanka? Speaking of tea brands from Sri Lanka, Five Kinds is a good one. Whoa, that's a cool name. Sounds almost like some superhero show. It refers to 5 tea leaves. Uva, Candy, Nawara Alaya, Dimbula, and Rahana. Rahuna? Rahuna? It sounds like Darjeeling tea. Ranger Red! That's the only color it has, though. Does the background behind you explode when you drink your apple tea? Wouldn't it be a problem if you could buy something that dangerous so easily? We should blackmail them and claim the entire tea shop for ourselves. Yeah. You two are starting to lose me. And it's not even spring yet. The voices grew louder as I continued, then began to fade as though I had just walked past them. When the voices completely ceased, I strained my ears again, but could no longer hear a thing. I tried saying something myself, but it had no effect. I couldn't perceive anything besides the ground at my feet, so I didn't even know how wide this cave was right now. Sounds like Night Cage. After confirming the condition of the auditory landscape, I started walking again. Something akin to mist had appeared in the dungeon in front of me. It looked kind of red and blue at the same time. As I followed it with my eyes, a small girl appeared in the corner of my eye and dashed further into the cave. She looked like Takako in her childhood. I didn't actually see her directly, it was just her reflection on the cave wall. Give me some warning game. I narrowed my eyes while still looking at that huge black mirror when a light suddenly lit up behind me. Its reflection on the wall momentarily rendered me blind. I turned the page. The rays of the evening sun filtered in through the window of the dead silent classroom. The white curtains fluttered as a gust of cold wind swept into the room through the open curtain, cooling my cheeks. I glanced at the clock. I could hear a plane and the voices of children in the distance. Tofu, your Golett stopped evolving. I'll do a quick recap, because some stuff has gone down. Some things have gone down. The first thing that's gone down is I'm like 82% deep down, literally deep down. I'm like 82% sure that like Narasaki isn't a real person and that she's not like a person. She's like a figment of Sachiko's imagination. Did it tell Timber? Timber, it's going down. I'm yelling timber, you gotta move. You gotta dance. Is that the words? Let's make a night. You something. What is it? I don't know. Something remember. Something yeah. That has Kesha and Pitbull in it, right? Yeah. You better move. You better. Let's make a night. You won't remember. I'll be the one. You won't forget. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah, that's the song. There we go. But no. So I'm like 82% sure that Narasaki's not a real person, and that she is in fact a figment of Sachiko's imagination, and she's actually just a doll, and that she's not real, and she's never existed. But I'm also like still like 18% like maybe she is real, because multiple other characters have interacted with her, and it doesn't really, and some of the stuff in the game really doesn't make sense if she doesn't exist. Or if it's like Sachiko, like, having, like, split personality, she's a FNAF. Maybe, I don't know. The second thing that happened is Sachiko, like, had a dream, and she was stuck in this, she's, like, currently, I think right now, even right now, she's stuck in, like, this weird, like, Inception thing, where she's, like, reliving memories of her past, or, like, events of her past, that she wasn't present for, and she's able to interact with people. She's been interacting with, like, a Takako from when they were, like, 5. And she's been talking to her, and she's been seeing things that she was never present for. And we just had... I'm going to actually save, because I want to show you this. I'm going to save right here. And then I'm going to go back to the title screen. Something important, retrospection. Because I want to show you something. So we saw this, and this was very adorable. And we also saw this, and this was equally adorable. But then we saw Narasaki, and she's been like... she's reliving someone's memories? Yeah, it's really weird. It's really weird. And now she's in this really... Narasaki's been doing this weird thing where... she's like reliving memories that Takako and Sachiko had. Or maybe one of them, maybe it's just Sachiko. Maybe it's both of them, but she's like walking through memories. She's walking through past events that she wasn't present for. And she keeps like... she's just like walking around. And... she just keeps like sinking into the ground and getting like teleported to all these different places. And she's like reliving all... I think they have to be Sachiko's memories. She's like reliving Sachiko's memories. So that's super weird. Because here we have Sachiko reliving memories that she never was present for. And here we have Narasaki reliving Sachiko's memories. It's very confusing. Also, we can add another 2 for the counter for times that Sachiko and Takako Frenched each other. What's the current count? It's actually not that much. But... What? How is that even possible? I don't know! I don't know. I don't know how you live someone else's memories. Unless, once again, Narasaki's not a real person, and she's a figment of Sachiko's imagination. She's like an imaginary childhood friend that she's invented in her brain. But I have no idea what's going on. And I think now we're in high school. I think now this is Sachiko. I don't think we're back in the present yet. I think she's still dreaming. Because it says that she's in a classroom, so I think she's just in middle school or high school, and she's reliving something else. I could hear a plane and the voices of children in the distance. In the distance. Let's do this. I suddenly heard Takako's voice from outside. Well? Wow. It actually got stuck in the trunk. I looked down from the window to see Takako and one of our classmates throwing something at a cherry blossom tree behind the judo hall. What on earth are you two doing down there? Oh, what on earth are you two doing there? Our English teacher appeared from within the school building. Oh shit. Everyone in the tree scattered like startled animals. Scatter! The teacher went after Takako, who seemed to be the most likely ringleader, and caught her by the collar. He then pulled her back into the building. Get wrecked. I glanced at the clock again and returned to my book. Wow, you're just gonna leave her out to dry like that? Hang her out to dry like that? Huh, Sachiko? Not even gonna help your future wife? I see how it is. After about 50 pages, I heard footsteps in the corridor. Okay, so this is, I think, high school. Akako entered this classroom with a sigh. Also, I assume it's high school because I don't think they would have a judo hall in middle school. Nor do I think they'd be swearing, but who knows. Huh? I thought you already left, Sachiko. And now we have good old classic Sachiko, whose twin tails are slightly off apparently, but they look fine to me. I forgot my key, so I need to wait until my sister gets home. You have a sister? What? Sachiko, you have a sister? Excuse me? This is the deep floor now. It's not a dream? Maybe? This is either a dream, or the game is just showing us something that happened. It's either a flashback. It could just be a flashback, like this is just something that happened in the past and the game is just showing it, because it's done that before. It could still be a dream, I have no idea. This is more confusing than the Sub-Zeru's festival. I see. Let's go home together then. She sat down in her seat, which was right in front of mine. Aw, isn't that cute? Oh, that's right. I wanted you to help me with homework. But we didn't get anything today. I have to write a written apology in English. What did you do this time? Takako took out a small steel plate from her skirt pocket and handed it to me. Her skirt has pockets? Dang! The rest got confiscated. Is that the shuriken you bought during our last school trip? I used the whetstone in the industrial arts room to sharpen them. Takako, Oh, and I wouldn't recommend touching the edges. The edges of the steel glimmered in a sharp silver light. Are you serious? The teachers got angry at me when I tested them on the tree. Of course they did, are you crazy? I do feel sorry, okay? Takako let out a groan. So, what exactly happened with the teachers there? They said that the trees can start to rot if you damage their bark. That's all? I know, right? Feeling like Dunyazard for real. Oh, Dunyazard. My new favorite Genshin NPC. Then they told me how to consider how I'd feel if someone threw these things at me. And did you? Takako clutched her stomach and fell to her knees. Are you still planning to keep that up? No. Then you don't need this anymore. I folded my handkerchief around the shuriken and put it in my bag. Also, wait, you're telling me that she has a sharpened shuriken in her skirt pocket, just like jangling around in there? Okay, okay, I see you, Takako. Where are you taking it? I'll bring it to the teacher's room. They can do away with it like they did with the rest. Wait! You don't have a use for it anymore, do you? It has sentimental value. I know you won't be able to resist if it's right in front of your eyes. She considered me with imploring eyes for a few moments, then clutched her head and collapsed onto the desk with her upper body. You have no idea how long it took to sharpen them. She let out another groan. You're always having fun. Takako lazily raised her face with her upper body still on the desk. And you're not? Aside from studying, not really. I don't like to be around so many people. Really? Yup. The sound of a bat hitting a ball reached us from the baseball field. The school buildings beyond the window, the cherry blossoms around them, and the scenery of the town in the distance had all been painted orange by the evening sun. Now that would be a great scene to make a SeaBed anime out of. A SeaBed OVA of just that one scene. Oh! Okay, so we should be back to Narasaki then, since it's orange. Right? No, we're still in Sachiko. Okay. That's weird. Does that... Wait a second. So we're on Sachiko now, and we were just on Sachiko, but the title card was orange? Looking around, I saw bricks in the darkness. One of them had a hole, through which I could see some greenery. Are we back in the dream? Because last time we were in the dream, we were stuck in a tunnel. I approached and tried touching the leaves, but my hand passed through them like they were fog. After that, they immediately vanished. Yeah, we're back- okay, we're back to the dream now. Because this is little Takako. I'm scared. Takako clasped the hem of my skirt with both her hands. I can't walk like this. Also, little Takako has the cutest little little duck, chick, whatever, on her, skirt. Oh, I stuck my arms under her armpits. Hands? Hands under her armpits and lifted her up. Piggyback? Piggyback? Oh, no. Aww. I took a few steps back and lowered myself onto a big rock, ending up with Takako on my lap. Look at her face. Look at her face. She's like, mm. She's like, mm. Also, Sachiko really do be wearing the same outfit, like, in every single scene we see her in. She's got, like, one outfit. She's got this blouse, and she's got this skirt, and she's got these tights, and that's it. She has, like, no other clothing. The only thing that she wears. We're not walking anymore? We're just taking a short break. What? I could feel Takako wriggle on my knees, even though I couldn't see her. She actually does have several sets of clothes, but she has a distinct style. Solid fit. It is a pretty good one. I think I know what you're talking about. I think in some of the CGs, she's wearing, like, slightly different clothes, but it still mainly consists of light top, dark bottom. It'd be really funny if it was like Somnium Files, and she just has like 7 sets of the same outfit in her closet. The sound of dripping water reverberated across the tunnel's wall. I heard a gulp. Where did that child come from? The duck makes it. The duck does make it. Where did the child come from? Dawn, you've missed so much. You've missed so much. So many things have happened. I don't even know where to start. But this is little Takako. This is Baby Ko. Yeah, Baby Ko. Everything's happening everywhere all at once. Yeah, some might even say that it's everything, everywhere, all at once. Solid reference. Solid reference. Are you thirsty? Thanks. I reached out toward her and took the thermos bottle lid from her. Where did she get this thermos? You're trying to tell me she just had it in like her skirt pocket or something? Where did she get this thermos? The liquid inside it was cool, but I couldn't quite tell the taste. Did you have tea in this? It was either water, tea, or juice. Maybe it was tea that was brewed in juice. I took another sip. If it was water, it should have been tasteless. If it was tea, there should have been a bitter aftertaste. And juice should have had a certain sweetness to it. I forgot. I can't tell either. After I finished the contents of the lid, I placed it on Takuko's head for her to take it away. Put hot water in the thermos and keep it hot. We are reliving the Sub-Zero's festival in a different universe. Want more? Oh, also, Tofu and Dawn, you missed the part of the game where Narasaki was like, I descended farther into the seabed. I'm fine. I felt Takako move on my lap again. She's not wearing any shoes either, bruh. What's wrong? She said the title, she said it! Let's go. Did you remember the correct way? No, but... Then it's okay. Let's rest for a while longer. What? No! Staring into the darkness, I spotted something in the corner of my eye that reminded me of letters. Golden letters? Golden envelopes? Project Cat, is that you? I shifted my gaze to them, but they blurred together and disappeared like water paint. Water paint? Are you angry? Takako asked. Why do you think that? Well, we got lost because of me. I'm not angry. Really? Don't worry. It shouldn't be too hard to get out of here. But yeah. I'm not angry, but you never think anything through, or anything you do through. You should keep that in mind next time. I found Takako's face in the darkness and seized her cheeks. Okay. I let her go. I'm hungry. Didn't you have some snacks in your bag? Did she have a bag? Oh right, she had her backpack. I guess we just couldn't see it. She put the dragonfly and the doll in the backpack. Oh right. Takako picked up her backpack. The sound of a zipper followed soon after. Huh? You ran out? No, there were some candies inside. Here you go. Takako handed me a candy. I felt something hard and round being placed in my palm. Takako bit through her own with an audible crunch. I don't have anything to crunch. I popped the candy into my mouth. It had a sweet, artificial aroma, but I couldn't identify exactly which fruit it was supposed to be. Probably grape, then. Takako continued munching away on her candy. After a while, she stopped moving, and I could hear her breathing even out. Hear her breathing even out as she dozed off. All of a sudden, I heard approaching footsteps. Oh, you're approaching me? Turning toward the source of the sound, I saw a dim light in the distance. It grew bigger as the footsteps drew closer, making my eyes hurt. Oh no, bruh. We will be reunited for? Through my narrowed eyes, I could make out Narasaki with a lighter in hand. She spotted us and raised her hand. Hey. Narasaki? Took me a while to find you. You were looking for me? Yep. Narasaki's white coat was drenched in water, making her curves stand out more so than usual. What happened to you? You're completely soaked. I had a few adventures on my way here. Also, see, she's wearing a skirt. She's got like a blue or like a dark skirt. She literally looks just like the doll. Narasaki smiled as I stared at the water drops drip from her hair. She placed the lighter on the ground and sat down on the rock in front of me. Were you worried about me? Yeah, I thought you might be in trouble again. You truly are obsessed with your work. It's not like I have anything else to do. Oh, I see Takako's here too. Long time no see. Upon noticing Takako, she quickly waved in her direction. I stared at Narasaki. She returned it with a questioning look. I just thought it was kind of odd to see you together like this. Thank you for donating to the ASMR stream, Tofu. Narasaki made her characteristically faint smile. Thank you for that, Windows. Time doesn't exist here, so the unusual is actually not so unusual at all. Because we're in a dream? Not exactly. How is this not a dream? Well, it's not like I comprehend everything about this phenomenon either, but there are a few crucial things I noticed that separate it from a dream. I'd say this is simply a place where the present and past cross. It's not a dream at all, it's just a tear in the space-time continuum. What's that supposed to mean? Okay, let me start from explaining how it's different from a dream. Didn't you feel anything unusual on your way from this place? I retraced my steps with the small Takako. I thought it was just another dream at first, but I could remember I was in Nanai's mansion just before, and it feels a bit too realistic. I don't know how to put it. You've got your full wits about you, Narasaki added. Yeah, that's it. It's too realistic for a dream, but I can tell it can't be real. It's as though there's a translucent membrane separating me from it. I guess it feels a bit like when you hypnotized me. Exactly. My hypnosis partially recreated this exact same state. So, this is neither reality nor a dream? Yeah. Well, I guess it still depends on your definition of a dream. Oh? Narasaki inhaled a breath. Okay, let me explain this from both this place and your condition. I still had many questions, but I decided not to interrupt her. Narasaki made a small nod, then opened her mouth. For starters, I wouldn't say you're awake right now. Your condition is similar to sleeping or being hypnotized, but it's not entirely like that. As I've mentioned before, your consciousness is fully alert. Now, when you sleep or are hypnotized, your consciousness should grow foggy and become receptive to any information with little scrutiny. However, you keep questioning and analyzing everything around you right now, correct? In a way, you could say you somehow ended up in a dream with your consciousness unaffected. It's not something that happens often though, so I wouldn't bet on it. Anyway, that's the gist of it. Narasaki showed me her hand and spread her fingers apart. Let's say that each one of these fingers represents one of the 5 senses, while the palm is the mind. When you are awake, your hand is open, like this. Your fingers are like antennas, transferring information to your mind from the outside world. Narasaki closed the gaps between her fingers. When you sleep, your antennas are closed like this. You need to fold them up when your brain organizes the information you receive. Next, she made a fist. And this is your current situation. Your senses have changed direction and are pointing inward. They're functioning properly but aren't directed outside. They're trying to get information from inside your mind. Can I ask something? Yeah? When you talk about the senses, you mean sight, hearing, touch, and so on, right? How can they face inward? My eyes, ears, skin, and so on only exist in the real world, right? Of course. It's not your actual sense organs that are inverted, but the channels that the information travels through. Just think of it as a metaphor or whatever, she added. Okay. I gave her a hesitant answer. I tried imagining what she meant. Narasaki said nothing over that time, so I asked another question. So, if my senses are inverted right now, what about everything I'm sensing here? It's neither real nor a dream, correct? Narasaki gestured toward her surroundings. That's one more thing I need to explain. About this place and where it actually is. Do you remember how we discussed the alternate world in your head when we were talking about the symptoms of your hallucinations? I remember that event from the real world. It was something I discussed with Narasaki right after waking up from a nap in the rest area at the end of the corridor in Nanai's mansion. Was it when you said the directions would be all inverted? Yes, and that's this place. You're perceiving that alternate world right now. I tried understanding what she said, but only ended up with more questions. What kind of world was this supposed to be? Why did it exist in the first place? What was its purpose? Did it even have any? And why was I here right now? Confused by the endless stream of questions, I began to see the contours of my surroundings as increasingly blurry. Or perhaps I was merely imagining things. Either way, after a blink, everything returned to normal. It must have been caused by the darkness around us. I glanced at Takako, still resting on my knees, then at my own arms, cradling her. What's happening to me in the real world? Your condition is similar to being lightly hypnotized right now. It's actually a bit problematic, to tell the truth. You've already experienced hypnosis before, so you can probably tell, but some of the memories inaccessible during normal sleep can get unlocked in this condition. A professional usually guides you in the right direction while you're in that state, but right now you have no one guiding you. If you stay in here for too long, your memories might get all over the place and won't return to their proper location. And without anyone guiding you, there's no one to wake you up either. Wouldn't someone just notice I was sleeping for too long and wake me up? As long as your consciousness is in here, you won't wake up, no matter what they do. Then what am I supposed to do to come back? Relax. It's actually not that hard. For starters, you've got to draw your consciousness away from here. And the easiest way to do that is to simply sleep. It might be a bit uncomfortable in a place like this, but what can you do? Is there anything else? I'll carry the real you to your bed so you can wake up in your usual place. I imagined Narasaki carrying me on her back. No one had done that to me since I was a child, so it felt a bit embarrassing. But I was asleep, so I probably wouldn't remember it anyway. That's all? Yep, said Narasaki. What happens if my memories can't return to their proper location? You said it was odd to see me and the young Takako together. If you stay in here too long, it'll stop seeming that way to you. And it'll get harder and harder to remember reality. In the end, you might even start thinking of reality as the dream and this world is real. I tried imagining what it would mean to never return. It's called a coma, Sachiko. This wasn't a dream, but a world inside my mind. It was different from sleeping, but at the same time, very similar to it. Yeah, it's called a coma. A dream you can't wake up from. Yeah, a coma! If I stayed in here too long, I wouldn't be able to come back. There were still many things that didn't make sense to me. This world was ambiguous and uncertain, almost like a fairy tale. Was it because half my brain was asleep or something? Narasaki waited for my reaction with a gentle expression. It's okay. I know what's on your mind. I think. Your current condition is something akin to have been swallowed by a massive wave and being unable to tell up from down. Besides, your senses are dulled even further in a dark place like this. It's because of this place that I have trouble following this? Yes. Narasaki looked around the darkness. The lighter illuminated the rock wall surrounding us. The rocks in the darkness made complex patterns at the boundary of the light. I watched them until they turned into something akin to a kaleidoscope. I wonder how I ended up like this. I don't know the details. That's something I'd like to know myself. Narasaki turned to me. Takako was sleeping on my lap. I tried remembering the path I took to reach this place, but the cable car was the furthest my memories could go. Everything before that point was covered by a thick fog. Not that mattered if I remembered the beginning. I doubted that the path I took in this world had much of a connection to the cause, which likely happened in reality. you're looking for a clue, you shouldn't look for it within the dream. I felt as though she had read my mind, but she continued before I could say anything. Did Nanai say something to you? Nanai? An image of a person materialized in my mind. The new friend I made. She strongly reminded me of Takako. That's right. I was talking to her. I placed my arm on Takako's hair and tried remembering what happened. She said she wanted me to live with her in the mansion. Narasaki slowly nodded. When I said nothing else, she inhaled a breath and closed her eyes. That doesn't sound too bad. I suppose so. I stroked Takako's hair. I- I'm sorry for making you worry like this. Don't be. I'm the one who should have paid more attention to you. I heard a drop of water fall in the distance. Why did you go to such a dark cave anyway? I followed her. Oh, why did you go to such a dark cave anyway? I followed her. I gave Takako's head a pat, which made her lightly squirm in her sleep. This brings back memories. Yeah, she'd always take me to odd places and we'd get lost. I had been meaning to ask, but why do you keep following her then? I don't know. I was afraid to let her go by herself, and I suppose I preferred spending time with her to being alone. I see. And I always scold her when that happens. We were just discussing that before you came. And what did you two extrapolate from the situation? If you go into a dark place following just your instincts, you'll get lost. That makes sense. I know a few words alone won't change her, not to mention she was particularly reckless during this period. She's still little, she can't differentiate between do's and don'ts just yet. I just realized something. When she was little, Takako might have actually been testing herself. I still wish she'd been more cautious, though. You were always the cautious one. You appeared calm and thoughtful, even though you didn't know much more than her. Was I really like that? Yeah. Most little children don't know much about the world, which is why they're always so curious about everything. They've yet to get hurt and no fear, which leads them to want to try all sorts of things. Takako slept with her mouth open against my chest, looking kind of foolish. Like trying on stilts they're too large, only to lose your balance and crash into the ground. That's the kind of kid she was. Indeed. This is how kids learn about the world around them. She'll calm down eventually. Takako had always been interested in everything, no matter how old she got. I, on the other hand, had very few interests, like you've said before. Takako closed her mouth with a silly sound and began squirming on top of me again. I see. Perhaps I was just curious why Takako was so excited about everything. I looked down to see Takako's small hand on my chest. Her tiny chest rose up and down in sync with her breathing. I wonder where she was trying to take me this time. She didn't tell you? She said she was taking me home, but it doesn't seem like it was Takako's old house. Not the one I'm familiar with, anyway. I'm not sure if she was telling the truth, either. On the other end of the light, Narasaki stooped down and joined her hands on her knees, then separated them again a few times. It's true that Takako's sanatorium is there on the other side of this tunnel. Aha! Why do you know that? I used to work there, said Narasaki in a nonchalant voice, all while fixing her eyes on me. I had many things I wanted to ask her, but they all disappeared from my mind before I could put them into words. My head just wouldn't function properly. Narasaki was the first to speak up. You want to be with her forever? I looked at her and shook my head. If you're worried, I imagine other people would be worried about me just the same. That's not a problem. If you want to remain here, I'll take care of the other side. What do you mean, take care? I'd inconvenience a lot of people if I just remained unconscious for the rest of my life. That's not as big of an issue as you think. If you simply dispel the state of hypnosis from your body, it won't be that different from the real you, even if your consciousness remains here. It'll be capable of everything you were. You just won't be conscious of it. How can it be like me if my consciousness isn't there? People can survive without consciousness just fine. Do you remember how you ate your dinner a week ago? What kind of clothes you wore? Your consciousness already doesn't register most of the things you do, nor do others. And even you, as the main consciousness, can't figure out how you ended up in this condition. You could switch out a person with a hollow robot, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference most of the time. Oh, the Raiden Shogun would beg to differ. Not unless you know that person extremely well. Narasaki continued as I fell silent. As such, you should just do what you want. Now that all the doors of your memories are open, you can return to any place you wish. You can attend school with Takako again. Narasaki considered the darkness to the right. The lighter illuminated the right half of Narasaki's cheeks. Then she shifted her gaze to the darkness behind me. If you go over there, you'll get to the sanatorium she currently resides at. Hello, Luigi. Cool, huh? I enjoyed staying in the classroom after everyone had gone home to their clubs, just reading the books on my own. Sometimes I could hear the lousy sounds of someone practicing the trumpet in the music room, or the racket of the boys playing football or baseball on the athletics field. I grew fond of that bustling but nonetheless calm atmosphere. I only realized that after I graduated, and the time I spent alone increased. You can come back. Akako will be there too. The boisterous atmosphere I love possesses a sense of change. Everyone at school had goals and dreams. They changed and evolved to achieve them. Going back there with Takako would mean returning to a stagnant environment. She'd be bored to death by it all. More than anything, she loves the new, fresh. Perhaps you're right. Then how about over there? Her distant gaze returned to me. I don't know, but I still feel like it wouldn't be right. Both places exist only inside my mind. There'd be little difference between them anyway. I realized Narasaki's eyes had narrowed, as though she was scrutinizing me. Then again, it could also have been just an illusion of the dim, flickering light. No. That place alone is slightly different. It's designed so that Takako, who likes new things, wouldn't get bored. Narasaki closed her mouth. I looked up and saw only darkness. I couldn't make out the ceiling. I imagined the sanatorium Takako stayed at within that darkness. I learned that Takako's here, and that's good enough for me. If that's okay with you, I have nothing else to say, said Narasaki. Let's get out of here then, she added. There's something else I'd like to ask you. Okay, but asking something about Takako or myself would be fairly pointless. Why? You'll forget everything the moment you wake up. Are you going? Yeah, it's not like time on the other side has stopped. You wouldn't want to catch a cold, would you? Narasaki stood up and patted her coat to see if it had dried up. It had, which didn't particularly surprise me. So, how do we leave? I'll walk out. You should just go to sleep if you start feeling drowsy. That's all I need to do? Yeah. I'll leave the lighter with you. Having stayed in this darkness for so long, it's possible your consciousness might melt away or something before you even get the chance to grow sleepy. Don't leave this area, okay? Okay. Narasaki nodded. I realized something by coming here. The reason I made up that story about Takako going missing? I probably couldn't acknowledge that this Takako was no longer here. Why do you think that? I glanced at the tiny sleeping Takako. Because it hurts. A lot. I stroked Takako's hair. I see. Narasaki. I wanted to ask her what she thought of it, but quickly changed my mind. It's important what I think, isn't it? Yep. Well then. Narasaki turned toward the darkness. Are you going to be okay? It's no big deal. Narasaki smiled. Is there anything else bothering you? No, I'm sure you'll be fine, no matter what happens. I will. Don't you need any light? My eyes have gotten used to the dark by now. I see. Good night. Sweet dreams. Thanks. Ah, what a sound. Narasaki waved me goodbye and disappeared into the darkness. Her footsteps grew distant until I could no longer hear them. The light seemed to have grown somewhat smaller compared to when Narasaki was here. Aha, and I'm gonna take this opportunity to take a drink. Oh, Narasaki? Our voices might have grown too loud as Takako began lightly squirming on Sachiko's lap. Sachiko put her hand on Takako's head, making her calm down. Perhaps I was just curious why Takako was so excited about everything. I could see Takako's closed eyelids through Sachiko's hands. Oh, this is just the other perspective of what we just saw. They relaxed for a second and seemed about to open, but closed tight again. Her ponytail cast a long shadow in the lighter's light. I felt my body grow heavy as I observed her. I could really go for a drink. Perhaps. I slowly stood up, feeling like a statue made of stone. I should be on my way. So, how do we leave? I'll walk out. You should just go to sleep if you start feeling drowsy. That's all I need to do? Yeah. I'll leave the lighter here with you. Okay, we see this, so I'm skipping through this. This is the same thing that we just saw. We were saying we're gonna leave. She's gonna ask if we need lights, and then she's gonna say goodnight, sweet dreams. Thanks. And then, now this is new. I walked for a while, then glanced back. The light had turned into a vague orange dot in the distance. As I continued on, it began moving toward the left before completely disappearing, almost like the setting sun. From here on out, I'd be in complete darkness. The floor was the first thing that disappeared from my vision. I couldn't even tell if I was descending or ascending a slope. I glanced down to realize I couldn't see my legs anymore. The darkness crawled up and up until I couldn't even see the tip of my nose. With my eyes completely unable to perceive light, I had no way of telling where I was. I strained my senses to try and feel for something, but all I managed to discern was the thick darkness pressing heavy against my skin. The more I walked, the heavier it got. I remembered a TV program where they carried out an experiment by submerging a water bottle and a ball in the sea. Both ended up crushed by water pressure. I felt as though the darkness was seeping into me through my eyes and skin. It was slowing my pace. I feared it might immobilize me completely. I continued pressing forward with all my strength when an image appeared in the darkness. I turned my face away and closed my eyes to let it pass. However, the image wasn't created by the light, but my own mind. Oh, what's it gonna be? Oh? I could hear the cry of cicadas around me. There was a small mountain of sand piled up in the middle of the sandbox, with a tunnel passing right through it. Countless water canals surrounded it on all sides. Finishing her masterpiece, Takako stood up and shook the sand off her hands. She turned to the water supply Sachiko was sitting in front of. Sachiko had a doll and a towel in her hands. What are you doing? She was wiping the doll's face with a wet towel. Oh, what are you doing? Her face got dirty. Did you get it off? It's not working. There were some visible brown stains in the face of Sachiko's doll. Let's ask the nurse. Nurse! Takako let out a loud shout. What happened? A young woman who'd been tidying up the toys scattered inside the building turned to Takako with a yellow toy car in hand. The doll got dirty. Can you get it cleaned up? The somewhat feisty-looking woman approached them and looked at Sachiko's doll over Takako's head. This looks like a stain. I guess it'd be possible to wash it out if you undid the sewing, but then it might actually fall apart. Sachiko's fingers clutched the doll tighter. You can't fix it? I don't think it's worth the risk. Sachiko considered the doll's face for a long while. Make sure to take care of her if you want to keep playing with her. The nurse gently patted Sachiko's head a few times. Memories were leaking forth from the deepest corner of my mind, from the very boundary of the conscious and the subconscious. As the vision passed, I focused my senses on my limbs. I balled my hand into a fist with all my strength, successfully swaying my consciousness away from that memory. With that, I once again returned to the pitch-black darkness. It seemed I had stopped before I realized. I didn't know how long I was lost in that memory. When I resumed walking, I couldn't even tell if I was really moving or not. Before long, I could no longer sense my body at all. Well now, I said, unable to tell if I was really hearing my own words, or if they came from some distant memory again. It felt as though my arms and legs had melted into the darkness. Perhaps I had returned to just being a doll, like in those memories. I inhaled a deep breath, then slowly let it out. I remembered how I talked to Sachiko just earlier. I'm where I always am whenever you're not wearing me. In a frightening subliminal space between states of beings. Not quite alive and not quite dead. She said it was odd to see me and Takako together. In that moment, I felt something different about her. Her expressions and body language seemed to have grown richer. However, I couldn't tell what that meant. I wondered if I should tell her, but in the end, I decided not to. The lighter's light had been flickering in front of Sachiko's eyes, and from her perspective, I should have been sitting right beyond it. Ever so faintly, feeling returned to the tips of my toes and fingers. I calculated where my head was supposed to be from their position, and fixed my eyes on the darkness. It was the real thing. Complete darkness that melted the consciousness away. A phenomenon very similar to death. With some feeling having returned to my fingers, I began rhythmically moving them in an attempt to hypnotize myself. My legs moved unconsciously. My eyes could have seen anything, but my heart wouldn't move. All sorts of images appeared in front of my eyes. Nonetheless, my legs pushed me ever onwards. Sachiko took a box off the top shelf of the closet, checked what was inside, then returned it to the same place. There were 2 more boxes in the closet. They had Takako's written on them in big letters. Sachiko pulled the biggest box into the room and looked at many other boxes she had collected. There were already 2 transparent containers in front of the closet. She moved one of them with her leg and placed the box beside it. Inside the box, there were carving knives, a flute, a knitting set, and all sorts of other trinkets that Takako probably used back in school. Sachiko took them out of the box one by one, separating each item into 2 categories: important things and trash. She crushed the paper bag that was mixed in with the other articles and put it into the trash container. There was a radio cassette player underneath it. She plugged it into the electrical socket and flipped its switch. A familiar melody filled the cold, gloomy room through the static. Sachiko turned around and looked at the bed. A doll she'd left on the edge had fallen down to the floor. She is wearing different clothes. But she's still wearing a white top and dark blue shorts. What is she wearing? She's wearing like a dress shirt with a crop top? Okay. Okay, Sachiko. Sachiko reached out and picked it up. Its lips had frozen into a perpetual, almost confrontational smile. Its somewhat sardonic expression as it looked over the room made the doll appear almost like it was eager to ask a question or two. This, too, brings back memories. But I was looking for something else, said Sachiko as she turned the cassette player off. The melody stopped, and the cold, gloomy room once again fell into silence. Sachiko took out a blue, rectangle-shaped can from another box. There were several radio cassettes inside. Back in middle school, Takako recorded her own radio show onto a cassette. I wonder which one it was. I believe it should have been a yellow tape. Sachiko took out a yellow cassette tape from the can and pushed it into the player. The cassette holder sounded a very rusty yet vigorous click. Sachiko put her finger on the play button, hesitated for a few moments, then pressed it. An old pop song began playing from the player. As the song ended, Takako's voice suddenly rang out through the static. She said it was the first song she'd ever bought. Then she said it was her first recording and congratulated herself. Her show was basically her talking about her day and introducing music she liked. There were no guest corners or letter reading sessions, of course. I tried listening to a radio show at night, and it was much more fun than I had expected. Oh, when I told Takako about it, she brought this tape to school the next day. She said it was really weird to hear her own voice come through the recorder. That now she wanted to learn how to sing or something. Sachiko smiled. She then continued to talk about the history of the old cassette player. It used to be in Takako's house, and the two listened to the radio and the cassettes they bought. Sachiko paused and listened to the song Takako had introduced. She then began talking again. She shared her personal information with an almost gleeful expression. Sachiko continued listening to the tape with the doll in her lap. Before I realized it, she had closed her eyes. I couldn't tell if she was sleeping or just absorbed in the music. The tape suddenly stopped in the middle of Takako's speech. Sachiko's eye opened her eyes and took the tape out. She flipped it around, put it back in the holder, and pressed the play button. Now that I think about it, we dropped by Takako's old house sometime after getting our first jobs. But this cassette player was no longer there by that time. It's not like we would have listened to it anyway, but... She faced the doll, but her eyes were gazing somewhere far away. She seemed to have been wondering why they weren't listening to music. If I could go back in time, I'd love to show her some better songs. Sachiko stood up, picked up the cassette player with one hand while holding the doll in the other. She then walked over to the bed. She sat down on its edge, placing the player on the side table and the doll by her pillow. Sachiko turned around and saw Takako on the bed. She extended her hand and touched her. I'll play my favorite song next. A very old Western song came to life through the speakers. I looked up the meaning of the lyrics. Everything has a meaning. Even if I don't have them now, time will bring me the answers. This is my favorite song. I don't know why, but I really like it. I hope I'll eventually come to understand why. Oh, I hope I'll someday... Oh, that was Takako. What an idiot, Sachiko murmured. Nonetheless, she made a smile. Perhaps she recalled a time when they listened to that song together. Takako said it'd be the last song for the day, then began playing. As the song came to an end, the tape stopped. The room fell completely silent. Oh, this is from the tips. This is what we saw when Narasaki got all, like, spooky dimension. Sachiko realized that her doorbell was ringing. She didn't know whether she had fallen asleep or was simply too deep in thought, but by the time she glanced at the clock, it was already midnight. Still, the doorbell was definitely ringing. Sachiko noticed light coming from one of the rooms. She went to bed before sunset, so there was no way she'd turned on any of the lights. She glanced at the doll by the pillow and embraced it. She listened to the sound in her bitterly cold bed. The sound of the doorbell seemed to have grown distant. What am I supposed to do? I could have sworn she said something. However, both her words and the doorbell became barely audible to me. It felt as though everything I observed was happening somewhere far away, in another world. I stepped on something and almost tripped. It felt softer than the rocky ground I'd been walking on so far. Upon kicking it, I heard a wooden thump. I prodded it a few more times with my toes, making it quiver. The quivering extended across the entire cave, turning into rumbling. 2 lights lit up as it traveled through the area. I looked down to see train tracks below my feet. I shaded my eyes with my hand and looked around, eventually spotting a hole in the wall. I stepped into the hole just moments before the giant object, with headlights, zoomed past me, the light from its windows flickering in the darkness. I couldn't make out any human-shaped silhouettes beyond said windows, though. After the train had passed, I climbed out of the hole and brushed the dust off my clothes. Looking in the direction the train went, I could see the lights of the outside world. I followed the train tracks outside, eventually emerging into a forest covered by fog. The moon perched in the dark blue sky right above the mountains and trees. I didn't know what time it was. Following the now abandoned railway line, I eventually made out the roof of the mansion looming beyond the trees. The familiar pathway led me back to the Western-style mansion I knew so well. As I emerged on the road leading to the library, I took a turn toward the entrance of the mansion's inner yard. The doors weren't locked. I turned the doorknob and stepped silently inside. The lights weren't on in the corridor leading to the lobby, so I couldn't see very far. Making my way down the corridor, I managed to reach the lobby. A grandfather clock towered to my right. Its arrows displayed the time as 4 o'clock. Thinking about how much time I had until sunrise, I was just about to ascend the stairway when I noticed the silhouette of someone behind the counter. Good evening. The silhouette addressed me in Lily's voice. Good evening. Nana was really worried when you didn't show up for dinner. With no moonlight, it was darker inside the lobby than outside. As a result, even though my eyes had grown used to the dark outside, I still couldn't make her out very well in the room. I couldn't tell what kind of expression she wore, but despite the reprimanding content of her words, I felt a gentle, caring air from her. I made a sour face. I felt like a kid that had broken her curfew. I'm sorry. Lily turned to the side and made a light yawn. Have you been waiting for me all this time? Lily slowly shook her head. I woke up in the middle of the night and decided to simply kill some time here. I wonder if I'm getting old. Whenever this happens, I usually come here to think. Still, I did have a feeling you'd be coming back. That was part of the reason, too. What do you normally think about here? All sorts of things. Lily didn't say anything else. She must have fallen in deep thought. Her whispers reached my ears even from this distance. However, compared to that whisper, some of her previous words would pass by me and go too far, or wouldn't reach me properly. She appeared to have been testing how low her voice could go with me still hearing it, almost like she was fine-tuning a sonar system. That was a bit too complicated to me, so instead I simply walked over to the counter where I could finally see her sitting in a chair. She looked up at me. "What were you doing outside at such a late hour?" "I went out for a walk, but ended up getting lost." Lily's expression clouded over. "Not many people come to our mountains, which made the area a relatively popular suicide spot." "Really? As you can see, we don't have that many guests at this inn. Usually only 2 or 3, even during the high season. And most of them are our regulars. It's rare to have even a single guest during the off-season." I was fine, though. "That I can see." As I imagined what Lily could be thinking about here at night, she continued. "I've been working here for a long time. I've seen many guests that came back, and many that didn't." "What kind of guests didn't come back?" "Some we found, others we didn't," Lily said with a sigh. I remembered the mountain I saw from the mansion's window. It was covered with trees from top to bottom. You couldn't even make out the roads. It couldn't have been easy to find a person in there. Can I tell you something odd?" "Sure." "In retrospect, all those guests had a peculiar air that separated them from the rest." "Well, I imagine they'd come off as different compared to regular tourists." "I suppose so, but I don't think it's that simple. It wasn't just their personality or a few individual quirks. When I saw them, the difference I'd feel was about as large and obvious as the sudden change of color or shape of an object." "How do I look to you?" "I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but I noticed that you have the same kind of air about you. Although there's something unusual about it in your case. When I first saw you, I only felt that way about half of you. Well, long story short, I was worried for you too, though maybe in a slightly different way from Nanai." Perhaps what she was saying was the truth. I grew curious about her method of sensing things, but it probably wasn't something that could be explained overnight. "Your face is all red," Lily suddenly said. I touched my cheek, feeling it cold as ice. I might have been warmly dressed, but I did spend most of the night outside. Fairly natural consequence, but being so deep in thought, I didn't notice it at all. "I think you should take a shower before going to bed. You want me to heat up the bath?" "No, I'll be fine." I waved my hand in denial while she made a troubled expression. "Then can I at least make you something warm to drink?" "I'd love that." I felt like I'd made her worry even more if I refused, so I had her deliver the drink to my room. I turned on the heater as I returned to the room and changed into my inside clothes. I combed my hair for a while, then tidied up my room to kill some time. I moved everything from the table, as well as the coat on the chair, out of the sight. Finishing that up, I looked out the window. It was dark outside. I couldn't even see the moon. What? Lily knocked on my door. As I took the tray from her, she glanced at the heater in my room. "It shouldn't grow much colder than tonight, but it's a good idea to keep the heater on when you sleep." I nodded. "You can keep the tray in your room." "Thank you very much." "Don't mention it," Lily said with a smile. She then closed the door. I placed the tray on the table, sat down in the nearby chair, and picked up the cup. It warmed my frozen hand through the porcelain coating. I could tell by the sweet smell that the liquid inside was cocoa. There was also a small plate on the tray with cookies and strawberry jam, or at least some sweets that looked very much like that. I gave the cookies a careful look as I continued sipping my cocoa. A lot happened tonight. It felt as it had been ages since I'd been to this room. I thought about Sachiko. I felt responsible for her ending up in that dark cave. It wasn't Nanai's words that caused it at all. Regardless of what happened, There was no way she could have reached the cave leading to the other side all by herself. It was a place for beings like myself, and only I could have known the way to it. I didn't know how, but my existence probably led her there somehow. When I came to, I realized both the cup and the sweet plate were empty. Walking for so long must have made me hungrier than I thought. I glanced up at the bed, but didn't feel sleepy at all. After thinking for a few moments, I placed the empty cup on the tray, picked it up, then left the room. Lily was still behind the counter in the lobby when I came down the stairs. Is something the matter? Thank you very much for the treats. Having a hard time falling asleep? Asked Lily as she took the tray away from me and shoved it in the cupboard. Seems that way. I might not be one to talk, but it's healthier to go to sleep while it's still dark. I agree, I said with a nod, then asked if it wasn't colder in here. I'm used to it. It doesn't bother me when I'm so deep in thought. Why do you do your thinking here in the lobby? That's a good question. It would take a while to explain, though. How long, exactly? Quite long. I wouldn't want you to freeze to death while listening to me at any rate. She said we would have plenty more opportunities to talk. However, I didn't feel like being alone right now. Besides, there was something I wanted to ask her. We maybe talk in my room, then? Lily paused to think for a few seconds, then asked me if I wanted more cocoa. Yes, please. Lily nodded. Then we can talk until we finish the cup. Actually, I was getting bored here by myself too. Lily stood up, took out the tray from the cupboard again, and stepped out from behind the cupboard. I returned to my room and turned up the heat a bit. I waited in front of it until I heard a knock at the door. Opening the door, I saw Lily standing there in an apron. There were 2 cups on the tray she carried, as well as a cloth bag hanging from her right elbow. We sat down at the table facing each other. Lily handed me one of the cups, then picked up the other one and took a sip. Back in the past, my friend would go out at night just like you, and I'd wait for her in the lobby like this. You have to pass it by regardless of which entrance you use. Who was it? The same friend I mentioned to you before, the one that went missing. I remembered Lily's horror story from 2 days ago. So, that was a real story after all. I dramatized it a little, but it's true that my friend disappeared. You may remember how I said that she and I both lived here for a long time. There was no need to worry about her getting lost or anything, but that time it was different. It happened shortly after her young daughter passed away. How did she pass away? She drowned in a river. I almost couldn't believe it at first, as the rivers here are really shallow. We had lots of rain over a period of few weeks, and the increase in water apparently loosened the riverbed. It was like she stepped into quicksand, and ended up being sucked underwater. My friend's husband passed away sometime before that too. Anyway, she was severely depressed during that period. Lily picked up her cup, which reminded me that I hadn't even started to drink yet. Either way, I lifted my cup as well. The sweet aroma of the cocoa washed over my nostrils as I drew the cup closer to my lips. She was always such a high-spirited and cheerful person, but after the incident, she began shutting herself up in her room. Even when we'd meet once in a blue moon, she would barely speak. One day, around the time I started thinking about how I should do something for her before things spiraled out of control, I spotted her going out to the inner yard. When I approached her, she actually had her usual cheerful expression. I asked her what she was doing, and she told me she spotted a rare butterfly through her window. A butterfly? Yes, she used to collect insects as a hobby. I asked her if she wanted me to bring an insect net, but she refused. Anyway, seeing her like that relieved me a little. I figured she managed to get over it somehow. She resumed her work as usual and began talking like she used to. She even began smiling again. I heard a clang. I glanced down to see Lily's cup on the tray. And after a few days, she went outside and never came back. I couldn't see what was inside her cup. I thought about all sorts of things as I waited for her at the counter. Where was she right now? Why didn't she tell me anything? What was the name of that rare butterfly she spotted? You didn't go looking for her? I looked for her everywhere I could think of, but I had a feeling I wouldn't find her. I didn't really think she'd return, even when I was waiting in the lobby. I didn't know why I felt that way, but I was almost certain I was right. But I didn't have a similar feeling, nor did I suspect anything back when she was still around. So I think the cause that made her disappear lies somewhere beyond my knowledge. Maybe somewhere in her room, seeing how she used to lock herself up in there so often. I felt my throat getting dry, so I took a sip of cocoa. But I digress. You want to know why I spend my nights behind the counter. Probably because that place had always been where I spent the most time thinking. I wondered if she was still waiting for her friend, but it wasn't really my business to pry. Instead, I asked about something I found curious. The premonition you were talking about. That was the same feeling you talked about when I came back tonight, correct? Yes. You said that only half of me had made you feel it, though. It was very odd, I admit. How about now? I don't feel it that strongly anymore. The anxiety in my heart let up with her words. That half had probably been me. If her intuition was on point, the only remaining issue was the question of my existence. I see. I grew curious about the exact mechanism that drove her premonition, but I didn't feel she'd be able to explain it in a manner comprehensible to me. That's right. Lily raised her face as she pulled out something from the bag she placed by her chair. It was the doll I gave her 2 days ago. I'll return this to you. I took the doll from her hands and gave it a look. The stains had vanished, along with any trace of loose threads. It looked more colorful than before. You actually had to strain your eyes to make out any traces of the stain at the doll's mouth. What do you think? I couldn't completely get rid of all the stains, but I still think it came out pretty well. I'll be honest, I never expected it to be this clean. I'm glad to hear that. I looked at the doll's face one more time. Its perpetual smile seemed to beam with pride. Looking at its face made me feel a mixture of sadness and bittersweet joy, so much so that I ended up knitting my brows. Well, I suppose it's about time I was on my way. Lily placed her empty cup and the saucer beneath it on the tray. I gulped down the remaining cocoa still left on the bottom of my cup. It felt like ice. Did you invite me for tea because I gave you that feeling? Back then, I was just curious about Nana's new friend. I placed my empty cup on the tray. However, Lily remained seated. Her eyes traveled between the doll and my face. You'll think I'm strange, but... What is it? It's the first time I told anyone about this. I might have all sorts of feelings and premonitions, but I normally keep them to myself. Then, why did you tell me? You remind me of my friend. A lot. And... I thought to keep this to myself, but... Lily's gaze shifted to the doll. I never learned why my friend left us, but in your case, I feel like it's somehow related to that doll. I was flabbergasted by the keenness of her intuition. However, I made sure not to let the surprise show on my face. Her remark completely overlapped with my own conclusion. Why do you think that? It's mostly just my intuition. But after my friend's daughter passed away, she carried a memento of hers everywhere. I felt like this doll had a similar history. I see. Lily's dark brown eyes gazed at the doll. It belongs to my friend. I too shifted my eyes to the clean doll. She would confide in it when things got tough, but I don't think she needs it anymore. She's not exactly at an age to play with dolls anymore, and I feel the doll itself is getting frustrated by not being able to do anything to help. I see. Lily made a faint smile. She stood up with her bag hanging from her elbow and picked up the tray. I did the same and opened the door for her. Thanks. I saw a whole bunch of leaves scattered by the door. Oh, are you gonna clean them up tomorrow morning too? Yes. What about you? I'll go for a walk after I get some sleep. That's a good idea. Let's have another chat if the opportunity swings by. Sure. Good night. And with that, Lily left the room. After saying goodbye, I closed the door. Ugh. Title screen. Orange, like Narasaki. But will it be Narasaki? Only time will tell. Tips. Second trip. At the end of the second trip has been unlocked. Is this a new chapter too? No. But this is back on Sachiko. And I think, unless I can get some confirmation that Chapter 6 is going to end soon and we are going to enter Chapter 7 fairly soon, that is where I'm going to call today's SeaBed stream. Or at least I'm going to do the second tip. I think it should end pretty soon. Let me check. Okay, because if it's going to end pretty soon, I'll just go until we hit Chapter 7. Keep everything wrapped up nice and neat. And then we can do the tips maybe next stream, depending on how much longer we have left and how much longer this takes. And in the meantime, in the meantime, I am going to grab a snack. So I guess I'll go to the be right back screen. So I will be right back. I was wrong actually, there's a fair bit left in this chapter still. Okay, so if that's the case, seems kind of silly to end the stream after I just got pretzels. Ooh, noise suppression, actually, that's not noise suppression at all. The mic's doing a pretty good job of not, picking up the pretzels. Let's see. Yeah, some more? Maybe. Well, not super long. You're over halfway done, but still more than the scene. Okay. Then with that in mind, if you don't want to hear the pretzel crunch, you can mute the stream real quick. Okay, that's enough of that. Okay, so I'll just continue on with my original... Yeah, I'll just continue on with my original plan. And that is, why is the Elgato muted? Weird. Oh, right, because it, goes up there. I want to check my gallery page now, too. Oh, now it's picking up great. Earlier it wasn't picking it up, and now it's like keyed in on the pretzel sound. Still don't know what this is. So we're almost done with page 4. It's wild to think that we went so far, there was such a period of time that these two kiss scenes, and then everything we just went, the missing CG, I think it's one of the tips you didn't read yet. No way. There's actually, wait, how is that possible? Wait, hold on. Oh, you mean like ones I haven't read yet, or ones I haven't gotten yet? Didn't read yet. But wait. I've read these 3. I know I've read these 2. I thought I read all of them. What's this? Did I not? I'm not sure if you read tips 2-1, but you just unlocked 2-2. Oh. No, I have read this before. Yeah, this is the one where Nana or whatever is going to the place and there's the auction house and she goes around just putting stickers and everything. Yeah. She went off to some fancy place. Wait, hold on. I've read this. Wait, hold on. Why am I doing this? I have a turbo controller for a reason. I have a turbo controller for a reason. Maybe I just missed it. No, you didn't read the one after this? Because you just unlocked it? Oh, okay. Okay. Got it. Can I pause? Can I pause? Can I just exit? No. Okay, well, that's what the turbo controller's for. We'll just let this play out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I read this. This all seems very familiar. So we'll just go do the second one. We'll get that CG, and we'll square away all of our... Nice, okay. So we'll just get all that squared away. And okay, I'll turn off my controller, my turbo as well. Finally. What's a big bus? Where's the plane? Maybe it's a boat? Gotta be a bus. Wake up, it looks incredible outside. Feeling like someone was calling out to me, I opened my eyes. The seats of the bus trembled as the driver skillfully navigated through the crooked country road. I had finally managed to fall asleep just earlier, but I didn't feel like I could repeat the feat again. Resigning myself to that fate, I instead looked out the window. There was no point to even confirm that the seat next to me had been unoccupied. The voice that woke me up came from a distant memory. A friend that used to be by my side was no longer there. I said that, but it wasn't like she had passed away or anything. It was just that one day she forgot all her memories about me. Oh, rip. She probably did it consciously, too. I still couldn't understand the reason why. We'd known each other since we were little. She'd always been a little strange, but I couldn't imagine her ending up like that, given her personality. The bus finally reached a mountain path. Ooh, that's a cool one. Looking up the window, I spotted patches of snow as we drove uphill. The amount of snow increased the higher we went. By the time my ears started ringing from the pressure difference between the lowlands and the mountain, the snow walls around the road had exceeded the bus's height. I remembered my friend saying how the sight reminded her of Moses in the Red Sea. The tour conductor stood up from her seat and began talking about our trip. Basically, we could do whatever we wanted as long as we returned to the bus on time. She then began explaining the two alternate courses the passengers were free to choose from, one for beginners, another for the more experienced. The bus stopped almost at the same time as her explanation ended. The tour guide reminded us of the departure time one more time before the bus doors opened. The passengers scattered, each of them going in their chosen direction. Reminiscing about the last time I've been here, I turned 360 degrees to take in the snowy panorama surrounding me. The sky was clear and blue over the white mountains, just like back then. Hey, so where do we go for a beginner's course? She asked me. Weren't you listening? Well, I wasn't. I thought you would anyway. I guess we both got a bit overly excited by the snow, I deflected. Oh. Well then let's follow where everyone's going. I didn't want to panic over small details like this, and she wasn't the type to complain about them either. We found the longest train of people nearby and mixed in with them, eventually entering a relatively small wooden structure. Inside we found a souvenir shop and a cable car station. We observed a line of tourists buying tickets for the cable car. We did the same and lined up behind them. From a closer look, I realized it was a trolley bus, not a cable car. I checked the faces of people around us as we waited. I hadn't memorized the faces of our tourmates, but I was pretty sure I'd never seen these people before. Seems like we'd mixed in with an entirely different group. She was looking around as well, probably thinking the same thing. I've never ridden a trolley bus before, she said. Me neither. It seemed she had grown a little worried. Looks like it's going through a tunnel, I said. She replied. Obviously never been to the kingdom of make-believe if they've never ridden a trolley bus. Once the trolley bus had parked next to us, we boarded it with the rest of the tourists. The seat at the front was open, so I sat down there. I had the same spot back then, too. The same speedometer caught my eyes as back then. The tunnel I could see through the front window was dark and narrow. Being in a bus racing through that tunnel at a relatively high speed was quite thrilling. Racing through the night? Yoasobi? Back then, I didn't really have time to enjoy it, though. We were looking at the trolley bus timetable to confirm whether we could get back to our bus in time. But we weren't sure what to do, or how long it would all take, so we couldn't even make an educated guess. The trolley bus stopped. We arrived at a place that looked a lot like the wooden structure we'd left. I've actually done this mountain crossing, it's pretty epic, it looks really cool. It reminds me a lot of... Oh, what is it called? Oh, what is it called? You know the Empire in Bravely Default? What's that place called? What is that? Oh, what is that called? What, the place that Adia is from. I'm gonna see if I can look up his... What happens if I look up his... Eternia. That's what it was called. It kind of reminds... Well, it vaguely reminds me of Eternia. Because of the mountains, and the snow, and the colors. We arrived at a place that looked a lot like the wooden structure we'd left, with an almost identical souvenir store and bus station. Relying on my old memories, I left the souvenir store and ascended the concrete stairs. I opened the door at the top of the stairs, and entered a lookout area. A dark mountain range extended in front of me in the distance. The lookout was built at an angle that allowed a full view of the mountains, provided the weather was clear. Layers of snow covered the mountains like a set of beautiful white roots sparkling under the blue sky. I had been to a lot of places, but nowhere else could I see colors like that. Confirming that the scenery hadn't changed over the years, I drew away from the railing and found a bench to sit down on further back. This time I simply took in the scenery over the heads of the other tourists. Eventually, a group came in through the door and completely blocked my field of view. A guide began introducing the mountain, talking over gasps of awe from the newcomers. I closed my eyes, forming the scenery of the mountain in my mind, as well as myself sitting next to my friend. Unable to find the words to express myself, I simply shifted my eyes from one corner of the breathtaking scenery to the other. She was better with words than me, so I gave up on coming up with something to do the scenery justice, and instead waited for her to say something. However, as unusual as that was, she remained silent as well. Instead, she seemed to be too taken in by the scenery to talk. The mountains were indeed amazing, but she was also gazing at the white plains extending below them. The guide's speech ended, and the lookout fell silent as the group left. Only a few families that didn't seem to belong to any group still lingered around. "You're not going to join the walk down, young lady?" asked the man that had unexpectedly sat down beside me a bit earlier. I was in my late 20s, so I looked around to confirm whether he wasn't addressing someone else. But there was no one else around me, so I nodded. At a closer look, the man looked like he was in his 50s or 60s. His thick, naked wrists peeking out from his coat indicated that he either did sports or worked in the field. Both required quite a bit of physical strength. The scenery is amazing down there. You almost wouldn't believe it's Japan. "What about you? Are you not going?" I didn't have much experience speaking to someone in his age group, which made me somewhat hesitant. Nonetheless, I ended up responding to him anyway. I ran out of breath, so I decided to take a break here. Besides, I've already been there like 100 times. The man looked at me. You don't look like a part of the tour. Are you traveling alone? I wore weathered clothes that favored mobility over style, and had a large backpack on my shoulders. I must have looked like a wilderness camper, truth be told. You could say that. How long have you been traveling? About half a year now. That's nice, said the man. He then went on. It's best to travel while you're still young. Do you have a goal of some sort? Oh, do you have a goal of some sort? I mulled over his question for a bit. I began my trip because I thought it would help me understand why my friend had lost all her memories of me. It was prompted by my trip to a zoo half a year ago. That day, I felt like I saw a side of her I'd never really known before. And I felt like I could find out even more if I retraced our shared steps. It was hard to explain that in concrete terms, though. I thought about it some more on my train ride home, but I couldn't come up with anything in the end. Then I figured I'd get off at the same station we used to go in the past. I guess I don't really have much of a goal. I just got a long break from work, so I gave him one side of the story. The man continued to ask me questions for some time. I told him about the route that led me here, and mentioned a few things that happened along the way. As we ran out of things to discuss and fell silent, the man glanced at the clock. Would you like to read a book? I reached into my backpack and took out a paperback novel I'd been reading on the bus. No, I don't care much for books. They're all just a pack of lies anyway. He shifted his gaze to the dam at the bottom of the mountain range. Back when I was a young'un, we didn't have electricity here. The small villages all had diesel plants, but they kept failing all the time. So when I was in elementary school, I had my teacher tell me about how their engines worked. They weren't that complicated, but without any knowledge, even the easiest fix would have been a huge hurdle, let me tell you. Are you a mechanic? No, I didn't become that. We didn't have electricity, but we were short on food too. So I worked in the fields and would go sell the extra yield to neighboring villages. And, well, I couldn't tell you how they learned about me knowing a thing or two about gizmos, but one day they asked me to fix a power plant. I see. He was telling me about a time long before I was born. I understood why he specialized in the sciences, but that didn't explain why he didn't like books. Could just be a generational gap. Well, all things have a reason, the man said. I couldn't tell whether he was talking about the fact he didn't like books, or if he had already returned to the issue of my trip not having a goal. Before I had a chance to confirm that, it was time for me to board my trolley bus. I said goodbye to the man and descended from the lookout. I returned to the bus stop in the wooden building and killed some time in the souvenir store while waiting for the trolley bus to come. I spotted some cookies and chocolate named after the location. You could see those a lot at places like this. There were also some local character goods. I personally found the plushie of a snow chicken particularly cute. It was a bird whose feathers would turn white in winter. There was a big statue of it by the entrance. There were also some pictures of it for sale. I suddenly realized my friend was probably looking for this bird from the lookout. I didn't realize it back then, but it was quite obvious in retrospect, given how much of a bird lover she was. My trolley bus would soon arrive, so I moved over to the bus stop. I ended up not buying anything. I almost bought a tasty-looking Vatera, but then I remembered seeing it cheaper at the main station, which made me change my mind. I decided to buy it later so I could enjoy it in the comfort of my train compartment on the way back. Didn't even get a snow chicken, huh? I was the first person to board the bus. I took my seat and waited. This time I spotted some familiar faces among the people who boarded after me. Once the time came to leave, and the other tourists had assembled, The guide made sure that everyone was present. After that, the bus rolled out of the station and toward its next destination. It was the highest waterfall in the country. Last time, she made the 30-minute trip up that perilous mountain path all by herself, just to reach the waterfall at the end of it. I'd given up as soon as I saw the slope and waited for her at a nearby cafe. This time, I'd go where she went. I glanced at the neighboring seat. She looked out the window with narrowed eyes. "We should bring a pair of sunglasses next time," she remarked. Okay. So, what I can gather is this is Narasaki, this is Lily, and this appears to be, like Sachiko or Narasaki. Yeah, this was the... Yeah, this was the restaurant. That was the bar or the club or whatever that Narasaki and Sachiko were at. Narrated from Narasaki's point of view. Yeah, and this was the second half of that. The ending of that. All right. Oops, that's not what I meant to click on. Oh, wait. Huh? This one? I guess it wasn't that one. The search continues. It's such a weird spot for it too. It's just in the middle right here. I thought maybe it would show up here then, but no. The tips one is the one people usually miss. Yeah, I don't... I didn't even realize that I had missed one until I had gone to look at the gallery. Because the transition of Nanai and the kimono at the car to Kozue at the library is such a smooth one, I didn't even realize that I was missing a CG somewhere. Also, let's look at Sachiko's fashion. Well, here she's wearing a top, a tank top, a nightgown, and she's gonna move her eyebrows a bunch. And then, well, here she's just wearing a swimsuit, so that doesn't count. A nightgown? This is what she was wearing earlier. And here she's wearing another nightgown that's like the same color as her normal clothing. School uniform doesn't count. Here she is again, with the blouse and the... I just checked, it's a weird bit of ordering of images, you haven't missed it? Okay. It comes later? Okay, it just decides to... Okay. And she's got the shorts on, they're shorts, right? I'm pretty sure they're shorts. And then, when's the next time that we see her? Oh, the next time we see her, she's wearing a towel, because she just got out of the shower. Once again, school uniform doesn't count. It's not what I meant to press, I meant to hit the next button. Also, I still can't get over the fact that Takako's wearing shorts in these. Like... Sachiko's wearing a swimsuit, she's wearing a bikini, and Takako has shorts on. And it's kind of like, bruh, why? Like, there can't be anything more uncomfortable. There can't be anything worse than wearing wet denim. Ah, see? But yeah, yep, she's got the white top and then like the dark blue bottom. What's she wearing here? Oh, she's wearing something different here. She's wearing a turtleneck. And then, that like pale green skirt. So, she's got it reversed to there. She's wearing the same thing again here. The shorts and the blouse. And then she's just wearing a dress shirt here because she's about to get ready, I guess, if this is the same shirt. Her work outfit. And here she is again with the blouse. And then she just kind of continues because obviously she never changed her clothes in the dream. And then even here. I can't tell if she's wearing a skirt or not here, though. It looks like shorts. It doesn't look like a skirt, but it could be a skirt. Well, maybe it is a skirt. It's hard to tell. It might be a denim skirt. Hard to tell. The one time Sachiko isn't wearing something that's blue. And then I have this, and I've talked about this before, I still don't know why I have this, but I have it. It's there. Sachiko and all her, not Takako, Sachiko and all her Sachiko-ness. This one's an interesting one. It's just bonus art you have from the beginning. Oh. Body pillow. The Sachiko Dakimakura. Or Dakimura. I don't know what Dakimakura, I don't think that's a word. Dakimura. I like this one too because Sachiko looks so unlike Sachiko and how we've seen her in every other iteration. Like, even in other ones where we've seen her when they were in school, she still just looks so much... She just looks so different. I think it's because that was the time when I love the scene that CG's from. It's one of the best ones. Them walking home after school, singing the song. After, Takako put Sachiko's hair in the braids, in the twin tails. Not braids. It's just nice and nostalgic. It is. That's the best part about SeaBed. SeaBed's like a peak game where I play it and I just go, ah. How lovely. And of course it wouldn't be SeaBed if we didn't have our sussy moments. Like Takako and Mayako and Nanai and Sachiko. You know, it wouldn't be SeaBed if we didn't have our sussy moments with the main characters. Anyway, let's go back to this banger opening music, because this is legitimately one of the best songs I've ever heard. Do I still have it? I don't have it saved anymore. The other part of SeaBed that's amazing. One, illumination. The music in Illumination is wonderful. And this is one of the best scenes in the game. This is one of the nicest setups in the entire game, in my opinion. It's one of the coziest. It's one of the nicest. The other one is the the like accordion or whatever one. I don't remember what it's called. Is it called Evening? I thought it was called A Walk. I don't remember. I no longer. It's been too long. I don't remember. This is not it. That's why we have turbo mode, so I can turbo mode it. Maybe it was Dinner. I think it was Dinner. But I'm gonna turbo through this to see if I can find it. That lake reminds me of Violet Evergarden. And this reminds me of World End Syndrome. Because it reminds me of the cove that they have. That you only go to a couple times. You go there if you're doing Kensuke stuff to see Nikare, and you go there with Hanako a couple times. I don't think anyone... Here it is. This part. This is my other, like, second favorite part of SeaBed. This is a nice environment, too. There we go. There we go. Now it's perfect. What's wrong? Wait, I feel like something's not working. Oh, I see. I feel like chat broke at some point. How do we test that? We test it with the most boring emo ever. Hyper Haste. What is it from? I don't know. It says it's a limited time only emote. What did I get it from? Who knows? I thought the audio cut. Oh, because I muted. No, it was because I was eating pretzels, and I didn't want to hear the little crunch, crunch, crunch while we were listening to this. But no, I really like this one because it reminds me of... the audio kind of went there. One, the colors are nice. Two, it has Nanai in it, so that's always a plus. But the main part is... Excuse me, that's 3. There we go. That was a lot. What was... Yeah, the main reason I like this, I'll mute the game real quick. Nane with the top of her shirt unbuttoned, what can it mean? And the bottom of it unbuttoned as well. She's got her shawl unbuttoned, her shirt's unbuttoned, she got this belt for style. You got the style belt? Hold on. Let me direct your attention to the style belt. It's the belt for style. It doesn't really do anything. It does not help her keep her slacks or her jeans or whatever she's wearing up. It's on the outside of her clothing. They're purely for style. It's not big enough to be a girdle or anything like that. It's the only thing holding her clothing together with everything unbuttoned. Yup, pretty much. Everything, right here. The belt. But no, I really like this scene because it reminds me of I think one of my favorite piano covers I've ever heard. Mute the game and unmute it real quick so you can hear it. This sounds like something that could be in SeaBed. I wonder what sort of scene. It definitely sounds like a SeaBed song. I heard it and I was like, oh. Well, what had happened is I had just heard Kiki's Delivery Service or Totoro. It's Kiki's Delivery Service. A town with an ocean view. I had heard it because what had happened is I was trying to find a different song that's also called A Town with an Ocean View. Oh, what's the name of the band? I always forget what the band is called. It's Bone. They're called Bone Messel something. What are they called? Oh, they're called Bone Muscle something, and I forgot what they're called, but they have a song called A Town with an Ocean View, and when I tried Googling it, I always got the Ghibli song, so eventually I stumbled upon this. Why is the audio tearing? What's happening? The audio... Is it because it's maxing? I just keep hearing the audio tear. I'm very confused. What's that? I know it's not the song because it's never sounded like this before and it just started happening. And I know it's not my headphones either because I hear it on the stream. Well, how do we remedy this? We remedy this by playing a different song and seeing if I still have the same problems. What's still happening? Oh wait, no, I didn't hear it on the stream that time. That's wild. It can't be because anything's overheating. It can't be because of my fans, can it? I mean, I'm literally like not running anything. everything's on the Elgato, so like literally there's nothing running. And this is just something on YouTube's end. Maybe it's something on YouTube's end. It sounds like something on YouTube's end. Because now the video has stopped playing. It has just died. It could... Yeah, that sounds like a YouTube problem. Please no. Please no. Internet, I beg of thee. YouTube, please. Imagine live DMCA. I'd actually be so tilted. Hello?
Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces passing homebound. Staring black gray hair, just making my way, making way through the crowd.
It kind of sounds like it's something on my end, because I'm not hearing it on the stream anymore.
Now I need you, now I miss you, and now I wonder if I could fall into the sky. Do you think time would pass me by? 'Cause you know I've walked 1,000 miles.
Sounds good? That's okay. That's all good. Nice.
Tonight. It's always times like these and I think of you, and I wonder if you ever think of me. 'Cause everything's so wrong, don't bet on living in your precious memory. 'Cause I need you, I miss you, and now I wonder if I could fall into the sky. Do you think time would pass me by? 'Cause you know I've walked 1,000 miles. If I can just see you tonight. And I don't wanna let you know I draw in your memory. I don't wanna let this go. I don't. Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces passing homebound. Staring black gray hair, just making my way, making way through the crowd. I still need you, I still miss you, and now I wonder if I could fall into the sky. Do you think time would pass us by? 'Cause you know I've walked 1,000 miles. If I can just see you, if I could fall into the sky. Do you think time would pass me by? 'Cause you know I can just hold you tonight.
And now, there are other songs I could play. There are other covers I could play. But now, do you know what the real time is? You know what it's really time for? It's time to go to return to title. It's time to hit the gallery. And then, it's time for me to go through and I need to screenshot all of these applicable things. So, let's see. We need this. And we need this. And we need this. And we need one of these. But we need... Well, wait, hold on. Not... So many expressions. We'll need one of these. And we'll need one of these. So I'll grab this and this. And I probably should have gotten the smug face. Let me go through that again. That one. And then this one. And this one. And then what else do we need? We need this. And the oh yeah, here it is. That's what I was thinking of. That is totally just Narasaki as a doll. And this one. And this one with Takako. And this one Takako and Sachiko. And this one. And this one. And this one. And this one. And then this. And this. Does she have one where she looks anywhere other? No, she doesn't. And this one. 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 And I think that's it. I think that's all the ones I want to thing. And now, all that's left for me to do is one, unmute SeaBed. And then promptly mute it again, because I'm probably going to play a different song for the outro. Jotunheim Lullaby once again getting replaced by something else. And then I will pop my SD card out of my Switch, and I will get that bad boy onto my computer. I'll get all those out, I'm going to crop them all. And I can finally get to working on my Avril Lavigne early 2010s era shipping video of Nanai and Sachiko with Avril Lavigne. And it'll be amazing, and it'll be on the YouTube channel, and everyone will go, "What is this? What is this?" And they'll be like, "What is happening?" And they'll be so confused. But it'll be funny. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that there's enough CGs for me to do that. I'm really hoping. But with that being said, let us, haha. Let us briefly leave the seabed before I turn into SeaBed. My voice is trapped in bubbles you can't see or hear. I'm losing breath, I can't move yet. I close my eyes. I still haven't finished the trial of Steam Prison. You know, I got the demo. Also, let me get rid of some of this. Take off my glasses too. I downloaded the demo for Steam Prison. They have a trial version on Switch. And it says that it only lets you go down one route. So you're like locked into, I think it's the Elhart route. Whatever his name is. And I haven't played it in a long time. But I still haven't finished it yet. Let me check how many hours I have logged in Steam Prison. Come on. Play activity. Why is it not show? Why is Steam Prison not on here? Did I play it on a different profile? There's no way. Did I play it on a different profile? No way. No. Why isn't it showing my hours in Steam Prison? Did I offload it? Does it not track it anymore because I don't have it installed? No. It's showing BlazBlue, and I haven't played BlazBlue in a long time. I don't even think it's still installed on my Switch. Please show me more of my play activity. Oh. Up to 20 titles will be displayed? No, show me some other titles. Why is BlazBlue on here but not Steam Prison? Why is BlazBlue on here? I haven't played that game in ages. I've played Steam Prison longer than I've played BlazBlue. Why isn't that on there? What? Anyway. I've probably played Steam Prison for like 10 hours, and I'm still not done with the demo. Should I launch Steam Prison? Oh yeah, Steam Prison also has this super cool thing too, when how it shows your user data on the Switch. It's got a super cool thing. I lied. We're going back over here. It's got the super. I was not ready for that. Yeah, Elk Creed. Resolution has been lowered in the trial version. Oh no, not low resolution. Oh wait, did it say something about not being able to stream this?
Steam Prison.
Let me load. Ah yes, the spicy scene with Elk Creed. Config. What does this mean? Random?
I'll just
leave it random. I have no preferences. I like how you can turn off some of their voices too. You can be like, no, Elk Creed. What do I remember about these people? What do I remember? Oh, Yoon's cool. He's Mr. like, he's male lead 3. Finn is Mr. Childhood Friend. Ulrich is Mr. Haha Little Brother. Sashin is male lead 1. Innes is, Mr. Generic male lead. I don't know what number he would be. He's just Mr. Generic. Elk Creed is like male lead 2. Is there not a CG viewer? Is that not a thing? I thought for sure there was a CG viewer. Also, this game lets you have so many saves. Oh, and these are my quick saves. I forgot about this. Look at the 3 quick saves I made at the same time for all of these moments. Okay. Let's load this one. Yes, I would like to load this. I don't even know what name I gave the lady. I don't even remember. Oh yeah. I just changed it to be my Genshin name. Why is his face so big? Ulrich's also here.
やあウルリク、奇遇ですね。
人違いです。
昼食ですか。それも奇遇ですね。俺たちも食べに来たんです。
だから人違いだ。
人参も食べないと大きくなれないですよ。
はあ？人参なんて食べなくても大きくなれる。つうか、あんたが無駄に大きいだけだろ、バカ。
Anyway. That's Steam Prison. With our cool female lead who is a knight and has a sword. And she does knight things. Despite the fact that Elcreed straight up just has a gun, so... He handles most of his bodyguard duties by himself, seeing as he has a gun. And everyone else has swords. But aside from that, pretty cool. Yeah. I am going to turn off my Switch now. And get my Elgato turned off. And with that being said, you might notice a distinct lack of somebody. Yes, there's no e-girl Applebee's. I was like, I don't know where, too much space. Too much screen clutter. And with that being said, should I play another UK cover? Or should I play Seafoam? I'm gonna play another UK cover because I've played Seafoam too many times. So with that being said, I'm going to work on... No e-girl? There is no e-girl. Sorry. I have this, right? Is this still a thing that I have? Is this still a thing that... Yep, this is still a thing that works. You're welcome. So, this is still something that I have that's set up. So, if you wanted... If there's ever a way to ruin this lovely stream we had, I just did it right here. But yeah. It works. But yeah, no, another UK cover for the ending instead of Jotunheim. And tomorrow, probably, I'm gonna work on my Avril Lavigne thing. It's probably gonna be like 15 seconds long, because... Let me look at the screenshots. I don't think I have too much to work with in terms of content. Let's see. Oh, I got a spicy picture. Not a spicy picture. I got a picture of the lady in Monarch, the principal lady in Monarch, with a smug face. I was like, it's a smug face. I was like, haha. Oh, I found a picture of Ryuji, like, with his eyes, like, bugging out, and his face has got, like, the thing where, like, you go, you know, like, the filter that makes, like, your face really big and round. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, I just turned off the Elgato. No, I'm not turning it back on. I found some Somnium Files screenshots that have his face all messed up. They're all, like, distorted because of the filter. Oh, that's pretty funny. Let's see, I have a screenshot of a room from SeaBed, the sky, one of Kozue. Oh. Some video clip I saved, I don't know why. Picture of sheepish Nanai. And then the rest of them are all things I just took. So let's see, I have a couple with Takako. I might need to get some more neutral pictures of Sachiko. Because I'm thinking, if I want to like make this like super synced up to the beat and everything like that in the words, you got, hey, hey, you, I don't like a girlfriend, no way, think you need a new one, hey, hey, you, I could be your girlfriend. Yeah, so I've got to think about how I want to do that with the limited pictures I have of Takako and Nanai and Sachiko. I've got 3 kiss scenes to work with, and I've got the confession scene with Nanai, so hopefully that'll be enough. Hopefully that'll be enough. So, without further ado, no stream tomorrow. Hopefully we got a stream on Monday. Luigi or Dawn or Tofu or any of you, if you know, when are we supposed to be blessed by LLK? When is our Lord and Savior LLK supposed to arrive on the scene? It's November 2nd, right? On a Wednesday? Monday's the 31st, the last day of October. Right? Should be Tuesday? Alright. Or Wednesday, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, November 2nd. So whatever that day that is. So for me, it's Wednesday. But that also means that it's probably, the update probably isn't going to be live until, like, the banner isn't going to switch until, like, 5 p.m. Eastern. Which is, like, way later than when I normally start my streams. So that'll be a Wednesday. So Monday will still be October. Monday will be the last day of October for me. So maybe we try and get the achievements in Project Cat. And then maybe do some other stuff. I want to go into Zenki Zero, but I'm not about to start up Zenki Zero when, like, stuff is supposed to happen in Genshin, because that is a horrible idea. Juggling between Zenki Zero and Genshin, or being like, well, time to play Genshin like 5 days in a row because I want to finish the stuff on screen because I started it on screen, and be deadlocked. Meanwhile, Zenki Zero is not going anywhere. It's just further and further receding into the minds of people as they've forgotten about it, because I did one stream about it like 2 months ago, and I'm sure everyone's forgotten what happened. So I'll probably just restart and just make an entirely new save file. And because we only played, it was like an hour-long stream. It was like an hour and a half total. It was probably like only an hour of gameplay, which in Zenki Zero is like nothing, especially at the beginning. So I'll just restart. So everyone's on the same page. So that sounds like a plan. Tentatively, no stream tomorrow, but Project Cat on Monday, see if I can get those 4 remaining achievements. And then, depending on how long that takes, I guess we will just profit. The one that seems the hardest to me right now, I was looking at them. I don't want to look any of them up, because that's a way for me to artificially pad my stream time, and that's a way for me to artificially make the stream take longer. Is to recruit the 3 girls into my party. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but apparently there's a way you can get Quiet Girl. Oh, wait. No, I don't think... There's a way to get Quiet Girl, Pretty Girl, and Ponytail Girl into the party. The only thing I can think of right now is using... The only 2 things I can think of right now. One is using Cat's hair and not using any of their hair. Because that was one thing we never really tried. We never really saw the reactions or anything about what would happen if we used my hair instead of any of their hair. The other thing I was thinking about is there a way we can give them any of the runes? Obviously there are 3 runes and there are 3 of them, but we need 1 for the ritual, and I don't think the game will let you leave any for them. I left 2 in the box last time, and when I went back to go get them, they weren't there anymore. So that's it. The other one was to get a lockpick, a door lock, like to pick a door with the lockpicks, which I think I can do. That should be pretty simple. I can just make that save when we get sent into the other world, and I can just keep reloading that save as I try to pick the door if I fail it. I get 6 tries. I get 6 failures is what I get. On the 6th failure, the hairpin will break, and I won't be able to do it anymore. I don't remember off the top of my head what the other 2 achievements were. I know one of them was pick a lock, one of them was get the 3 girls in the party. I don't remember what the other 2 I was missing were, though. But I'll look at them on Monday, and we'll try and figure it out. So hopefully that'll take up a decent amount of time, and that'll be the stream for Monday. And then Wednesday... Nahida's probably going to come out after I've started streaming, so it'll really be like, well, if I start streaming at 3, what am I going to do for like the 2 hours until the banner updates at 5? And then what am I going to do, because I won't be able to level her up at all, because I still have to fight the new weekly boss. So I might just play Zanki that day. I might just play Zanki and then just pull for her at the end of the stream. Like, switch over from Zanki to Genshin. And just pull for her and be like, wow, I pulled for her. Because artifact grinding on Monday, or on Wednesday, will not take me 2 hours. That's not how that works. But with that being said, this is the end of the stream. Thank you all for watching this stream. We've gone on for about 36 minutes longer than I'd originally intended, and if I'm being completely honest, we've probably gone for closing in on an hour and a half longer than originally intended. But it's time to end the stream, and you know what happens when we end the stream. I have to lag my whole computer doing this, and I get these bad boys out here, eventually, as I'm frozen in time, and just like in SeaBed, I'm frozen. I'm in a strange world that's not quite here, not quite there. Isn't there an update? What do you mean an update? Like an update in Genshin? Like a Genshin update? Is that what you're... Genshin update? So the banners will come out once you update? Previously, the banners have just kind of... As long as there's no downtime, like server maintenance... Previously, maybe I've had things pre-installed, but previously what I've done is I've just had... I'm gonna make myself bigger too. Previously what's happened is, like, 5 o'clock has just rolled around, and I've opened up the thing. Oh, there's the zombie! And the banner has just changed. It's just been a new banner. Usually, unless there's server maintenance for, like, But maybe if it's a version update. Yeah, I might have to update it, so who knows? Either way. Regardless, on Tuesday, I'll probably just do the pre-install. And even then on Wednesday, I can just, like, update it before I even start streaming. So we shouldn't have any problems there. But yeah, I've got the heart hands out, you know, like a good idol. And it's time for me to start doing my thing about how I don't have an ending. And I know Luigi really wants me to use my classic catchphrase, you know. My classic catch... It's 3.2, so depending on how long your download is, she should be there. My download's probably gonna take like 5 minutes max, but... I'll just download... I'll like pre-install before I start the stream. And then I'll just play Zenki 0 or something if I start like before 5 o'clock. And then switch over to Genshin on the back. Because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to like pull for her a little bit. And I'm probably not even going to get her because I don't have any Primo Gems saved up. But, I've got a couple days. But, we will see. You should be fine. I should be fine. I've got 5 guaranteed from the shop reset. If I get at least 1 4-star, that's another free pull because I will get 2 Stardust, Star Glitter, and I'll be able to buy another one with the 3 I already have. That's also 1, 2, 3, 4. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 4 days away. And I have not done my commissions today yet. I don't think I've turned them in. No, I did. So I have 4 days. Each day I'm going to get 1 pull just about because I have Welkin. So I'll be walking into Nahida with 9 pulls, which should be plenty. Yeah, 9 pulls. That's plenty. That's plenty. And we'll see how things go. Either way, as long as I get her by the end of the banner, it should be fine, because I'm not going to be able to use her anyway, because I have to defeat the weekly boss with her. The real problem is going to be if I unlock the weekly boss and then don't have her. But as I stand here with the heart hands, it's time for me to do my thing where I say, haha, I don't have an ending. Luigi wants me to say, hey yo, what's up, as my goodbye. And I think it'd be really weird to say, hey yo, what's up, and then hit the ending soon screen, or ending soon, hit the stream ending screen. But you know, I could do that. I could say, hey yo, what's up, and then end the stream, and I could start every stream by saying, thank you all for watching the stream, have a good night, and then start the stream. So, either way. But more importantly, it's time for me to go, haha, I rip off ideas because I can't think of something. For whatever reason, this is stuck into my head, and I've done it so many times, I just keep doing it because it's almost part of my ritual to end the stream. And I will then say, in German we say, it's time to end the stream. Bye. And then I will also very quickly say, it's also time for me to mute Jotunheim Lullaby, because we're not playing it today. Sorry, Jotunheim Lullaby. Have the loveliest rest of the day. Time for you to sleep. Yup, have a good night's sleep, Tofu. Hope you have an especially deep sleep. Make sure you don't have, your blood sugar isn't too high. Because as we've learned today in SeaBed, if your blood sugar is too high when you go to sleep, you will feel less rested than usual because of some sort of secretion that your body makes when you sleep. Make sure you don't have too many carbs in your diet. And now, without further ado, the next cover.
Guess it's true, I don't go, I don't run, I stand. But I still need love, cause I'm just a man. These nights never seem to go to plan. I don't want you to leave where you hold my hand. Oh, won't you stay with me? Cause you're all I need. This love is great to see, but darling, stay with me. Why I'm so emotional? No, it's not a good look, get some self-control. Deep down I know this never works, but you can ride with me so it doesn't hurt. Oh, won't you stay with me? Cause you're all I need. This love is great to see, but darling, stay with me. Oh, 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 won't you stay with me? But darling, stay with